Whitney Young football is on the air. We're joining you here tonight from historic Fritz Pollard Field at Lane Stadium on the campus of Lane Tech. I'm Barry Newman, joined tonight by Jack Wildermuth. Jack, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Barry. Very happy to be here on a beautiful Friday night in Chicago.
Beautiful Friday night for a Chicago Public League Red matchup against the Lane champions, coming in the game 2-1, and your undefeated 3-0 Whitney Young Dolphins. If you were with us last week, a bit of a nail-biter out at Rockney. Heck of a game.
Tough game.
Yeah, 22-20 comeback win for the Dolphins on the heels of a kickoff return touchdown by Quinn Duhan right before half, and then a long run, touchdown run from Joseph Gray, long touchdown run from Aaron Champion. Two PATs from Solomon Bradley took care of business there. Lane Tech had a much easier go of it. They played their first game in the Red Division against the Bulls, UIC, the Prep Bulls, and they won 48-6 last week. So these teams come in tonight. Lane Tech homecoming. We're expecting a big crowd. We've already talked about that 2021 game a few times. We expect to have the same type of electric atmosphere here tonight.
I recall that 3 years ago, Barry. We were just coming back to normalcy after COVID and the lockdowns, and it felt so great to be here. The student sections of both schools of champions, although,
yep. Well, one has a name of a mascot that they made up a couple of years ago, and the other has the School of Champions, which is embedded in the DNA of the school.
Original School of Champions.
Absolutely.
So that was a really fun night, and there was some good debate between the two squads and student sections, and hopefully we get the same going tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. That game, key play in that was Alex Dale's pick six, but then some special teams contributions from Fernando the Weapon Lozano, and then a block field goal at the end by Malik Amos, who's now playing out at USC. So a lot of fond members, actually. Talking to Coach Finger earlier in the week, John Yolich, Luke Yolich's dad, was down there. And, some of these Dolphins, seniors now, we got three of these guys who were starters on that team, starters as freshmen in a big-time game. Nick Dale, Juan Buster Cepeda, and Yolich was starting at a safety spot, came up with a huge goal line tackle to save a touchdown. And then Quinn Duhan and Andrew Latham were playing special teams. And another guy we couldn't get back out for the team, but Will Carter had a big game in that as a freshman, running a bunch of bubble screens for the Dolphins. So a lot of fond memories, hoping to create some more fond memories. I had a chance to catch up with Coach Finger earlier this week and ask him both about last week's Johnson game and today's matchup against Lane Tech. Here's what he had to say.
Hey, this is Barry Newman. I'm joined with head coach Daniel Finger of the Young Dolphins. Let me express on behalf of Dolphin Nation a collective after last week's game against Johnson. Give us your view on the game.
Yeah, it took us a little while to get woken up there, and that's probably on us as coaches to not really make sure the guys were sharp going into practice. And, the heat made us melt a little bit at the beginning there and had some important players out and maybe underestimated our opponent a little bit. But, guys rallied at halftime. We kind of talked about how this group of seniors could do something really special this year. And if they wanted to make that happen, they were going to have to buckle down in that second half. And if our juniors or sophomores or freshmen cared about our seniors, they were going to have to buckle down too and sort of get them to that spot. And the guys did a great job. Guys, kept their foot on the pedal, kept the belief. There were some moments even that second half where it seemed like everything was going wrong, even when we started to get things rolling in the right direction. But guys believed, guys kept working, guys kept trusting their coaching and each other. And, you come out with a close victory. And guys are mostly healthy, and we look like we're going to be healthier this week than we were last week. So you win a game, even if you don't start off great, and then you come out healthy, you're pretty happy as a coach.
All right, two things I want to, because you gave that overview there, but two different elements. One, the Quinn Duhan kickoff return. Tell me about that, and tell me, how does this Mach 5 guy do what he does?
He is just a machine. The kid's sort of been calling him that since he was 14. But we had a guy who was dead tired that we had scheduled to return the kick. And I see he's hunched over in the kick return line after we gave up that big 6. And, he was sprinting back and trying to make a tackle, and then he's on field goal block. And he's clearly dead. And so, we had practiced Quinn being back there, and he's sort of our emergency do-anything guy. And they kicked him the ball, and it was our first week where we saw some kicks in the air to our deep guys. And so, that was a unit that was good for us all game. Brandon Dockett had a bunch of good returns back outside the 35 and the 40. So, Quinn just did what we always teach. No short strides on kick return. You're the long strides. Make them tackle you running full speed. And they couldn't. And then once he gets in the open field, there are very, very few kids in the city who are going to run with him. So that was a huge, huge play from a senior captain when we needed one very desperately. So, one of those where you turn to a guy, I think they ran Hail Mary at the end of the game, and Quinn's hammy was bothering him a little bit, and they called timeout, and Quinn was like, "Hey, coach, just so you know, I don't think I'm quite full speed. If you want to sub me," and I said, "We're going down with the Quinn Duhon ship. Like, I'm not subbing you," and then having somebody else, get scored on. Like, if we're going to get scored on, it's because you're going to screw up. We trust you whether you're full speed or not, and so, any of those desperate situations we find ourselves in, guys like Quinn, guys like Luke, guys like Nick are super reliable, and we're going to ride them. So, I don't know if that's a good explanation for how he gets it done. I'm not sure. I just know that he does, and we trust him time and time again.
All right, and then we saw a lot of changes happen throughout the course of the game. The zone reads early on, where they were just coming through and not allowing us to do that. Tried to get a passing game going, and then later on just went north and south on things. Were there some adjustments from an offensive line perspective, or was that just something that over the course of the game we were able to execute?
No, a little bit of both, but it was at halftime. We discussed it as coaches. Coach Eddie kind of had been able to look at the film and see it. They were bringing 2 from the outside, so you're reading the first guy, but then there's another guy outside him. So the quarterback was indecisive, and there weren't necessarily there weren't guys inside for linemen to block. So they had 2 free runners. Quarterback was giving it because you could see that guy. It was a really good schemed up defense for zone runs. We just made a quick adjustment and started running gap scheme and man scheme inside, and that's what really allowed Joe and Aaron to get vertical downhill. I think our alignment were a little overwhelmed in the first half because we hadn't shown them that look all week, and they had a tough time articulating it to us when we got to the sideline. And then we were finally able to really watch the film, see what was up, and then just say, "Oh, okay, all right, quick, we're going to swap assignments here. We're going to look out, and we're just going to get downhill with the backs." And with a save for a fumble, I think we might win by a couple scores, but the backs started getting downhill, and then our speed showed, and our our conditioning there at the end as well, I thought, really played a part both on the line and with our ball carriers just really moving better than the other team did last week.
Yeah, big runs for both Aaron Champion and Joseph Gray. Those guys really look good out there.
Yeah, the backfield is deep. Our O-line, we love that unit, and we love the guys who we give the ball to behind them. Quarterbacks always asking, what pass plays are in, what this, what that, and I'm like, man, if we pass the ball 8 times, that'll be plenty for me. Especially in a close game like that, we want to get the ball in playmakers' hands, and it's easiest to just hand it to them. And we've got plenty of guys in the backfield who can make those plays, and I think we saw 2 guys who kind of stepped up without Luke and Max there last week, sort of finish the game for us in the fourth quarter.
All right, let's pivot to Lane Tech. Big rivalry game. Been a while since we traveled up there against them at Lane. Memorable game back in the 21 season. What are you looking at? How are you preparing for Lane Tech this week?
Yeah, they're always going to have good depth. They're big and strong on both lines. They've got a couple of really good athletes, number 10 and number 2, and then the quarterback's a good athlete. Big kid, can really move, decent arm. Just going to present a lot of challenges that, they run empty. We saw some of that last week with Johnson, so we'll be able to kind of keep that rolling. With practice-wise, our kids aren't totally new to empty. And then, we're going to have to keep him contained. I don't think he's quite yet at the level of the kid from Westinghouse last year. but he's kind of that same vein, probably a little bigger and actually a little faster, maybe not as quick. So we just got to make sure that he doesn't beat us with his legs, whether that's getting outside the pocket and throwing or scrambling with it or keeping it on, zone reads. And, if we can shut him down, I think we're going to hold him to very few points. And then on offense, if we, can get downhill like we did last week, we can build on that momentum and really, trust our linemen and sort of run our stuff to a more traditional scheme than we got from Johnson last week, which is what we expect from Lane. I think we're going to be able to control the ball, put some points on the board, and really, dominate the time of possession, too.
All right, we're looking forward to that Friday Night Lights. All right, go Dolphins.
Thanks, Barry. Go Dolphins.
All right, so that was Coach Finger earlier this week. Mentioned a few themes that I want to expand on here. So, again, during the game last week, I saw Von Conrad go out, starting quarterback. He is back and healthy and back in the starting lineup today. Also, both Maxwell Warner and Luke Jolich missed the game last week, and they are both back for the Dolphins tonight. So Warner leads the team, 15 carries, 168 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's averaging over 11 yards per carry. Jolich right in that ballpark as well, 117 yards on the year, 2 touchdowns, averaging 10.6 yards. And then Joseph Gray, who had the touchdown run last week, and Aaron Champion, both those guys over 100 yards on the year. We got 4 different running backs over 100 yards on the year. Von Conrad's knocking on that door, and all those guys above 7 yards per carry. So it will be interesting. Like Coach Finger said, hey, if they don't throw the ball more than 8 times, he's happy. Maybe that doesn't make Von Conrad happy. It will say a lot about this UN security force as the offensive line if they're able to do what they need to do up front and allow the playmakers, allow Maxwell Warner, Luke Jolich, Joseph Gray, Aaron Champion, Von Conrad on the ground to do their work.
That was the depth at the skill positions really paid off last week, Barry. If you look at 21, Joseph Gray is a heck of a football player.
Yeah, he was all over the place, both on offense and defense. Fun to watch him. Coach Finger mentioned, he's getting on some of those recruit lists as a junior right now. And it'll be fun to watch him and the rest of the Dolphins tonight. On the Lane Tech side, so I always love Coach Finger. And that's when you're doing film on these guys, you just call them by their numbers. So you just talk about 10 and 2, and the quarterback is good. So the quarterback is Noah Mayra. So he comes in number 8. He's a senior, 6'4", 200 pounds. So he is a big kid. Coach Finger compared him to a Skya Bully over at Westinghouse. Bully was the 7A All-State quarterback the last 2 years. And last year we were able to contain Bully pretty well, but 2 years before that really had trouble trying to do that. So Mayra, 31 of 59 on the year, throwing for 496 yards, 5 touchdowns. He has been picked off 3 times. On the ground, he's got 24 carries, 160 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So Mayra 5 through the air, 3 on the ground. I was mentioning to Jack earlier, I had seen the film for the game. Lane Tech played Thornton Fractional South. They won that game 21-20, their second game of the year. And a bunch of explosive plays in that game. Mayra had a run as a quarterback where it looked like 3 different defensive backs on Thornton South had an angle on him, and he just hit the jets. And actually, I was going to pull it up because it was in our notes. Mayra's a guy who won some Chicago public school track stuff earlier this year. So that's number 8, the quarterback, a guy that Coach Finger, Coach OD on the defensive side, want to be gap secure and want to make sure that the guys on the front, that D-line often Nick Dale, Juan Cepeda, MJ Woods, Oshevsky, and Paracchini, make sure that they take care of their business and then allow those linebackers. So linebackers on the Dolphin squad, Jolich and Gray are their leading tacklers on the year, as well as getting some good pressure off the edges from Aaron Champion and Barry Gordon. I want to mention Barry Gordon's back tonight. He had missed all of last week's game and most of the previous game, but he's back, and so Barry gives you that strong outside edge presence. And he also is the starting tight end, or we'll see. He'll probably get reps on both sides of the ball. Beyond Mayra as a quarterback, his wide receivers that he's going to look to, Alex Lagas, senior wide receiver, number 12. He's got 10 catches for 140 yards on the year and a touchdown. Actually, the game-winning touchdown against Thornton, a comeback win for them. And Julian Vickery, number 2. So number 2, 10 receptions. Vickery, 178 yards, a touchdown. And also Harrison Bakunis, 9 catches, 128 yards. So they've got 3 receivers all over 100 yards into the 4th game of the year right now. And their running back is Vernon Cole, number 1. Cole has gained 189 yards in the year and 2 touchdowns. So again, good start to the year for Lane. Good start to the year for your Whitney Young Dolphins. So we're getting queued up for a barn burner tonight.
It's a great atmosphere here at Lane Stadium, Barry, and a little bit more on from your notes on the quarterback that we'll be facing tonight, Noah Myra.
Yep.
Finished 4th in the 200 meters and 8th in the 400 meters at the Chicago Public League Track Championships just this year in 2024.
Yeah, so you got a whole bunch of track medalists out there. On the Whitney Young side, you've got Maxwell Warner, who I think swept all of the jumps this year, a long jump, triple jump, and he's All-American candidate on that, as well as a bunch of guys that ran that 4x1, 4x2. I think Max is on those things, Quinn Duhan on those things as well. So speed on display. When I said barn burner, I'm not sure that's actually the correct. Well, we'll see, right? I mean, it's high school football. It's Friday Night Lights. You never quite know what you got in store, but I think it's going to be a well-played game tonight.
I think it will be. I think our special teams has been an advantage early in seasons, since Coach Finger took over the program, and hopefully that will prove to be an advantage tonight. And we have the what are we calling it? The not the exchange, not the battery, the operation with our doctors.
Yep, our Dr. Ben Barrett. Actually, I didn't write all these down, but I was looking at Ben's social media. He's made a bunch of unofficial college visits, so he's getting a lot of looks with his 12 3/4 star long snapper. But then, yeah, so the one extra point that was missed last week was when Von Conrad was out. So Conrad will be back Dr. Conrad will be back as part of the operation, leading to Dr. Solomon Bradley. I was watching Solomon line up some, let's see, it would have been 35-yard field goals that he was banging through. So I think that could potentially be something that the Dolphins roll out tonight as part of the overall scheme for what we have.
And thanks to up here on the north side, we had a nice little get-together before the game for Dolphins fans by Ronit and Brian Barrett and some Whitney Young parents, Dolphin parents, and that was a fun little get-together.
Yeah, I'd love to see. I mean, again, Coach Finger, family is what the team breaks down to every night, which is forget about me, I love you. Family extends to the Whitney Young parents and alumni who support this program. So a lot of fun to be around it. I will mention tonight, just as you start gathering around your phones, iPads, and televisions for tonight's broadcast, we are down Remy Vaudel. Remy had a transportation issue getting up here tonight, so Jack Wildermuth is pulling double duty tonight on the camera, which is our backup camera, and as the color guy on the broadcast. So no mean messages to us. We're just a 2-man crew here. We got Tony McHale on assignment, so we're going to do our best tonight in holding the fort for the Whitney Young Dolphins live stream broadcast.
Yes, I think we've professionalized the operation with Remy. I do recall when I was the cameraman at a game maybe 2 years ago, we may have missed an entire third quarter.
Yeah, I think we got a call from somebody that said, hey, do you want to put the camera on the action rather than the DePaul prep field next door?
So I think we're going to have a little better camera action. I promise to do better tonight for the Dolphin faithful out there.
We do the best we can out here. That's all we can ask. So Friday night, We're going to kick off in about 4 minutes. 4 minutes on the clock right now. Again, Coach Daniel Finger coming in. The Dolphins 3-0 on the season. We'll get to more of the Chicago Public League action at halftime, just to talk through some of the other scores. Dolphins will be on a short week this week. I mean, thankfully it's a Friday night game and not a Saturday game. Next week's game is Thursday 4:15. So homecoming against Clark out at Rockney. So anybody that has actual responsibilities of being in the, oh my goodness, Rich Fingard is checking in. We might need Rich on the Rich as a halftime guest.
That sounds good. Even though he is rooting for the
wrong
enemy team. His daughter Kara is on as a cheerleader for the Lane Tech. Are they the champions?
They're the champions,
but not the School of Champions.
No, they're just the champions.
Just the champions.
It's hard to say.
Okay.
It's hard to say. Hard to get that out. But it is in fact their nickname. We will probably spend a lot of time just calling them Lane Tech. Oh, actually, let's mention what was a lot of fun to start the day off, and that was probably because it's their homecoming. We had Windy City live, but Val Warner hosts every day. Emmy-winning host of that, who happens to be Maxwell Warner's mother. She was out here today. Did you see the clip of this?
I did. It was great.
Yeah. So they did a flyover with the helicopter, the traffic copter, and Lane Tech students spelled out Lane Tech or something like that. And Val was forced to wear a Lane Tech T-shirt and sort of be fired up about all of this action. But she was able to work in extremely well her affinity and her loyalty to Whitney Young. And I think also caused to hype this game up even a little bit more. So it is Lane Tech's homecoming today. Looks like Lane Tech won the toss. I am 1 for 4 on the year now in seeing that. So Lane Tech wins the toss. They defer. Captains out there for the Dolphins, Nick Dale, Luke Yolich, and Quinn Duhan. For Lane Tech, looks like the captains are Jacoby Thurman. He's a strong safety. Second on the team with 17 tackles. Mayra, as we talked about already, the quarterback, number 8. Looks like one of their O-linemen, so they do have a big offensive line. Number 65. Number 65 is Rilo Yeats. He's their center, 6'1", 250. On the both offense and defense side, the guy to watch on the line is a guy named Daniel Howard, who I know you know well, Jack.
I do, from the days in Alcott Elementary flag football. Daniel was a key contributor to a city finalist team, so good to see Daniel doing well, although with another team. Good friends with my son Jacob.
All right, so yeah, Daniel, number 70. Daniel Howard is leader for Lane Tech with 3 tackles for loss. And we are going to have the national anthem, so we'll pause for that. All right.
Beautiful.
Oh, we've got fireworks off in the distance.
What a night.
Yeah. So I can still hear behind us that there are quite a few people in the line trying to get their way in. Whitney Young students, a blackout for them tonight. They are over on the far sideline. We are smack dab in the middle of the entire Lane Tech, all 4,000 students that go to Lane Tech. It's their homecoming again. So packed on this side, I think packed on the other side of us as well.
Maybe a quick weather report, Barry. 76 degrees clear in honor of Paul Conrad, WGN weatherman extraordinaire.
Emmy-winning weatherman.
3-mile-an-hour wind from the east-southeast. Feels like 76 degrees and 69% humidity.
Dew point.
The dew point is 65 degrees. 65. It's always been. The Dolphins have never lost with a 65-degree dew point, Barry.
There we go. And so the Dolphins are going to be back for the opening kickoff. Looks like we've got Bardsma and who? Maybe Dockett?
11 Dockett, yeah.
All right, kick is away. Looks like Bardsma is going to take that at the 5, cutting to his left, looking for some blockers, gets out to the 20 where he is met and dropped by number 51, who I do not have on the roster, but a good tackle. So the Dolphins head out to the field. Looks like, again, mentioned that, well, Conrad was dinged up last week. He is in the starting lineup. Offensive line, the UN security force, Nick Dale in the middle, Oshevsky, Cepeda at the guards, MJ Woods and Dylan Paracchini at your tackle positions. 2 receivers top and bottom, Barry Gordon and DeMille to your right. That's Quinn Duhan in motion. Inside handoff to Jolich. Jolich picking his way out across the 25-yard line. Pick up about 7.
Mr. Inside, Luke Jolich.
Tackled there by Amari Prince, senior middle linebacker. So Conrad gets the play from Coach Eddie Boucher. Second down, I was maybe a little aggressive on the call. Looks like 2nd and 5. Conrad, Jolich next to him, Duhan in motion. Another handoff up the middle. Stacked up pretty quickly there by the Lane Tech defensive line. Jolich probably just a gain of, give him a gain of 2. Actually, I think that first play, maybe the sticks on the sideline were a little off. I thought he got a little bit more. So Dolphins, 3rd down, coming up, big 3rd down. They need to get out to the 32-yard line. So we'll see what the Dolphins want to do. 3rd and a long 3. Conrad, Jolich next to him. Gordon as the tight end. Conrad going to keep it himself, looking for a hole. He's got a hole.
Great run.
Across the 40-yard line. Tackled by Prince again. So that was a nice job, and that was after Conrad got a little dinged up last week. Didn't know how good they'd feel about putting him back into the fray, but they clearly didn't take the foot off the gas there from the play calling. Let Conrad do a nice 1st down pickup. So 1st down at the 40. 3 receivers to the left, Duhan, Gordon, DeMille. Top, empty backfield. Vaughn's throwing it out. Catch by Joseph Gray. Gray gets across the 45 out to the 47-yard line. So how about that? That's 1 pass out of the 8 that Coach Finger said he would be happy throwing today.
Barry, I'm focusing mostly on Canberra, but I will keep track of the number of passes.
All right.
It's 1.
Yeah, you could do well.
I hope we have 8 or fewer.
Yeah. That's probably good for everybody if we don't have to do too much ciphering up here. That we leave that up to. Oh, looks like we got a sideline on the Dolphins, and Coach Finger is livid at the sideline. Coach Finger is just made his way down the entire length of the Dolphins sideline, and everybody got an earful from him. I think he's still steamed. Now he's going back to the other side. But, I mean, clearly it's not something that you want to have this early in the game. And it also is a signal that the referees and I think given given a rivalry game like this, I'm sure that they're going to be pretty tight on any of the extracurricular activities.
Yeah, there were some major hits in that game 3 years ago.
There's Jolich on the carry. Nice job picking his way close to a first down. I think he's going to be just short. Tackled by your guy Daniel Howard there.
I think we're first down.
All right, they're marking on a first down.
First down, Whitney Young Dolphins.
All right, into Lane Tech territory at the 49. So we've seen one pass so far. We've seen Jolich runs and one Von Conrad. So Conrad with a first down and Jolich with a first down on this first drive of the game. Another give to Jolich. Good job by Jolich keeping his feet. Gets out to about the 45-yard line, so about a pickup of 4. That was the zone read that they really struggled with last week, given the pressure that Johnson was given off the edge. So that's where Conrad comes out, and he's reading that defensive end to see what he wants to do with it. Gave it to Jolich. Jolich got contacted in the backfield, but kept his feet and got it out there for about a 3-yard gain. Second and, let's call it a 4-yard gain. 2nd and 6 from the 46. Jolich again, the ball carrier. Nice hole up the middle. I think we're going to get a flag, though. Flag came in from the back judge. And so I think this is going to back up 10 yards on a holding call. Yep, holding on the Dolphins. That'll back it up 10 yards. So don't know who the guilty party was there, but I think somebody on the inside of that offensive line.
The Lane Tech has a strong defensive line, so hopefully we can keep these to a minimum.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely don't want to have a game like the Corliss game where the flags were a-flying all night. Got to limit that. So that takes the ball back to the Dolphins 44. 2nd and 16. Conrad stepping up in the pocket and brought down. Probably a loss of 1 on that.
Daniel Howard got him.
Was that Howard there? Another guy on the defensive side that you're going to see around a lot. Looked like Aman Shah was there. Also Nolan Reynolds is their leading tackler, number 59, middle linebacker. Although I'm not sure. Well, I'm gonna watch. I saw somebody on the sidelines in a boot. I don't know if that was him or not because I don't see him out there. So 3rd and 17. That holding penalty really hurt the Dolphins, who are on a drive into Lane Tech territory. So 3rd and 17. Inside handoff to, pass to Duhan. Duhan keeping his feet, and that should get a flag.
I think a flag.
No flag. It was right in front of the referee. I mean, it was one of those things right on the line. First hit was inbounds. Second hit that cleaned it up at the end was right on the chalk line. So Quinn got back about 7 of those yards, but it'll be 4th and 10. Solomon Bradley into punt.
Mach 5, Duhan popped right back up.
Back deep, Julian Vickery. So again, the leading wide receiver for the Champions with 10 catches on the year. He's back to receive this punt. Short punt by Bradley. Maybe we'll get a nice roll, good roll out of it. And Rayton Scottmere down there to tap it at the 20. So first possession for the Dolphins ends in a punt. And now we'll see the Noah Mayra-led Lane Tech Champions take over for their first possession. 6:35, so a drive that took some time off the clock, but ended with no points on the board for the Dolphins. Talk about the defense again. Some of the guys back in the lineup. Barry Gordon back in number 6, outside linebacker. Maxwell Warner at the corner, and Luke Jolich, all those guys out last game, they're back. Jolich and Gray, middle linebackers. There's Mayra with a run to start with. Champion got a piece of him, and then brought down by Jolich.
Nice tackle by Luke.
Yep, so good job by that defensive line. I think this is one of those things where you talk about being gap secure. I mean, Mayer's probably, with his size, 6'4", 200 pounds, and he does have speed, but you got to think, like, they weren't even looking outside the tackle. He was just kind of looking for a A or B gap sort of run there. Good job by both Champion and Jolich to shut that down. So 2 receivers top, 2 on the bottom. Vickery in the slot. There's
screen.
Screen pass read really well by Jolich, and then cleaned up by Barry, Gordon, Duhan, and Gray. So that was a screen pass over to Vernon Cole, read extremely well right out of the break by Luke Jolich.
Great play. Not quite a pod of Dolphins, but we're getting there.
I was holding off on that.
Okay,
you know, I mean, it was a gathering pod, but it wasn't. You know, it wasn't until the end. So 3rd and 9. So Lane Tech now with their 3rd down. You got Cole in the backfield next to Mayra. Mayra, the quarterback. He's got 3 receivers to his left, 1 to the bottom. There we're going to get a flag. It was a high snap, but a flag probably.
Offsides on us?
So it looks like, yes, it's offsides on the Dolphins. Kind of strange that they blew the play dead immediately. So that's going to be 5 yards for the Champions. Makes it a much more manageable.
I didn't see the
3rd
significant
and
advantage.
4.5. Yeah, I didn't.
Whoever they called offside.
Yeah, I didn't see there. A D-line is Dale Pericini on the nose, and I think MJ Woods as the right end. So Mayra now, same setup, 3 receivers to his top, 1 to his bottom. He's going to keep it, and he's wrestled down by Champion, but across the 30 for a 1st down. Picked up that 1st down by a yard. So again, just going through the lineup here, Pericini on the nose, Nick Dale and Marcius Woods on the line, the ends, middle linebackers, Gray, Jolich, outside backers, BG3, Barry Gordon, and Aaron Champion. Corners, Barsma, Warner, safeties, Latham, and Akron DNA, Quinn, Mach 5, Duhan. We got another flag down. And we have fireworks going off for some reason. We've got a procedure penalty on Lane, so they'll back it up 5 yards before they get the snap off here. Yeah, fireworks.
Fireworks here on the north side. The Cubs won earlier today, so I can't imagine it's for that.
I can't imagine in any way. I mean, there's still fireworks going off in Milwaukee where the Brewers secured the
yes, they did.
the crown. Is that on the bingo card?
Yes.
Brewers division title, it's there. Mayra rolling to his left, looking to get outside. He's across the line of scrimmage, and Jolich pursues him and takes him down. He did get about 7 yards back on that.
I'm not going to complain about the rest. There was an interesting spot.
Yep, so at the 35. So actually picked up about 9 yards on that. 2nd down. Again, we're going to see a lot of Mayra at quarterback tonight. Came in with close to 500 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, also 160 yards on the ground already this year. And so we've seen quite a bit of him. We've got a Dolphin down on the field.
Hopefully it's just some cramping. Hot day today.
Yep. So we'll see. It's Jolich who's down. Sam the trainer, who my apologies to Sam the trainer because I called him Alex all last week on the broadcast. And I know much better than that. But Sam is out there. The other crew, Coach Finger, now going to take a look over there. So last week, Rayton Scottmere filled on that inside linebacker position.
I'm going to try to scan a little bit of the crowd, and we do have.
Do you want to?
I'm going to give a little view. Sold out stadium here at Lane. The student section is overwhelmed this side, and then the Dolphin students are filling in as well. And I'm going to hand over the camera duties.
Jane, Rayton Scottmere's mom.
Jane Scottmere is taking over, helping out the program. We need it.
Jane listens to the broadcast. I mean, she's here, but she listens to the broadcast, always gives us some positive feedback. So there's Jolich getting up. Let's see. Walking on his own power, as they say, over to the sideline. So hopefully he can just get checked out quickly by the trainers. We'll keep our eyes on that. And so we're 3:43. So with the teams running the ball quite a bit here, we've only had one Dolphins possession. Counts for the Dolphins on that, but ended in a punt after a holding call negated a first down. And now Lane Tech with the ball, their first possession of the first quarter at the 35-yard line. They're going to get across the 40 for a first down. Mayra, the quarterback. Cole next to him. Mayra looking deep, looking to run. Shut down by Gray, Scottmere, and a few others. Just short.
Well, to your point earlier, yeah, Noah Meyer, big kid. It's not no arm tackling tonight of the quarterback.
Nope, not at all. So Dale checking out. Juan Cepeda is in. This is going to be 3rd and 1, which looks like Lane Tech checking in their heavy package. Brought in an extra tight end on the play, number 87, Rowan Bailey, 6'4", 205. So we'll see if we'll see what Lane Tech does. Lane Tech actually, after this play, I'll tell you something interesting from their Thornton game. So Mayra lined up under center, gets a push and gets the first down. Brought down at about the 42-yard line. So in their game against Thornton Fractional South, they were up 21-20, or at the end of the game. Essentially, Thornton Fractional South was down 7, drove the length of the field in the last 2 minutes and 53 seconds, scores a touchdown, and lines up for 2 with the push, and Lane stops
Lane
it.
held him. Wow.
Yeah, Lane held him,
Hmm.
which secured the win for them. So that's a testament to this offensive line, defensive line for Lane. They've got some big athletic guys, and they were able to stop that, and they're able to pick up the first down with Mayra. Mayra under center again. Spiro Minos, the fullback, is in the game. And again, we've got some sort of, I think, illegal motion. Yeah, procedure penalty on Lane Tech. I think that was on number 10, Harrison Bakunis. But yeah, I haven't watched all Lane Tech film. Spiro Minos is a guy that I think we've seen before. He's number 20. He's their fullback. He's got some solid social media stuff. He squats like, I don't know, 6,000 pounds. 5'7", 225, 5'7" both ways. Mayra, the quarterback, under center.
Good
pressure. Pressured
Sack.
by MJ, the Bull Woods.
MJ Woods.
He just walked his man right back into Mayra for the sack.
Woo.
Nice job by the Dolphins. Backs the ball up after the procedure penalty and the sack. They've got 2nd down and 20. They've got to get it all the way out to the Dolphins' 47-yard line. So Mayra back in the shotgun formation. Cole next to him, 3 receivers to his right, 1 to the top. Gets the high snap, wings it over, intercepted by BG3 in the house.
Barry Gordon, number 6.
Barry Gordon read that perfectly from his outside linebacker position. Number 6, Alex Dale, had the pick 6 in the game back in 2021.
He sure did.
Gordon with a great job reading that short swing pass in the flat, secured it and took it in for the touchdown. Dolphins on the board with a pick 6.
You'd mention it, creating new memories tonight. That 2021 game was such a great win, and off to a nice start here tonight.
So Gordon, who again missed almost 2 full games dinged up, was out last week against Johnson and missed most of the game prior to that. Back in a big way.
We're going for 2
Looks
here.
like we're going for 2. So Conrad, the quarterback, Maxwell Warner behind him. Conrad rolling to his right, throwing to Barry Gordon. Put up 8, number 6.
Woo! I did not start him on my fantasy team, but I wish I would have.
That was a little Riverboat Dan finger early in this game, going for the 2-point on a team that, Solomon Bradley is almost perfect. I think he's 13 of 14 on the year in PATs and was drilling them. But I think Coach Finger often comes in and has a play that he likes, and I think they like that one. Von Conrad to Barry Gordon for the 2-point score. Dolphins up here with 57 seconds left in the first quarter, 8-0 over Lane Tech. Wow.
I was about to say I hope there's a play that he likes, and there was one.
So Lane Tech back to field the kick. That is number 2, Julian Vickery. Solomon Bradley has got it teed up at the 40-yard line. Special teamers led by Rayton Scottmere out there. Sean Miller up the middle. Kick is short, fielded at the 10-yard line and tackled just across the 20 to the 22-yard line. So good job over there by the Dolphins special teams. I think Iakunle Alan Espinosa perhaps on the tackle. Also saw number 86 Fabrizio Bell in the vicinity. So Lane Tech, Mayra, that was his 4th pick of the year. So while he has some really nice numbers, close to 500 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, does have the 4 picks on that. Barry Gordon adding to that number. Mayra, Cole on his right, 2 receivers top. He's given it to Cole. Cole met
nice
by
hit.
Scottmere and then cleaned up by Joseph Gray.
Joseph Gray, football player.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Minimal gain. Call it 2 feet. Gain of 2 feet on the play. Ball edging its way out to the 25-yard line. So again, Scottmere in the lineup. Jolich will try to get some eyes on him. Jolich came out after that last defensive possession for Whitney Young. Pericini on the nose. Cepeda, D-line. Mayra under center. Cole behind him. Give to Cole.
Nice close.
Rayton Scottmere with the tackle. Good job, Jane.
Jane doing a much better job on camera than I would be doing, Barry. And her kid just got a great tackle.
So Rayton shot through there for the tackle. Looks like Lane tackle. End of the first quarter. That's what we've got here. So end of the action-packed first quarter here. Dolphins up 8-0. BG3 announcing his presence with authority, coming back after being out a couple weeks. Scores on a pick 6, probably about at the 25-yard line. Call that a 25-yard pick 6. And then catching the 2-point conversion toss from Von Conrad.
Great play by Barry. And then at the quarter break, we have on the Whitney Young Dolphins Snapbook site, we have a message coming in from Bloomington, Indiana. Some Dolphins alumni. They're questioning whether or not the Dolphins are undefeated with a dew point of 65. Wondering if this might be fake news.
Prove us wrong.
Exactly.
Prove us wrong.
I want to see it. They're down in the business school studying some math and stuff down there in Bloomington. So I challenge Bennett, Pat, Josh to prove us wrong.
So the 65% dew point, is that percentage? Do you measure
it's
dew point in
65
percentage?
Degrees.
Are you sure? Dew point seems like it should be a percentage. But I'm sure that we're correct. So big third down play here. Mayra back out to start the second quarter. Let me check that on the scoreboard here. So Mayra, Cole to his left, high snap again. Corrals it. Mayra heading up the middle. Gonna be, he did a little sidestep.
Get there, come on, Duhan. He's speed.
That's the speed of Mayra.
Oh.
That was the breakaway ability of Mayra. He had a couple different Dolphins that had an eye on him, but Mayra showing off that speed. We talked about he was a top 5 finisher in both the 200 and 400 at the Chicago Public League Championships, and we've seen the speed of Mach 5 over the years, and Mach 5 knew he needed to take a desperation shoestring tackle, was not able to bring down Mayra. So Mayra with I'm going to call it a 70-yard, he was in that vicinity, 70-yard touchdown run on the first play of the second quarter.
Yeah, to see that speed live is something.
Yep, and that's what he showed in the game against Thornton Fractional South that I watched too. I mean, guys had an angle on him, and he put the pedal to the metal. Another high snap. He's thrown a fade up to the corner of the end zone, and incomplete. Lane Tech receiver complaining, but really nice coverage over there by Bardsma. That is not a penalty, my friend. And Lane Tech
nice job by Miles.
Stay at 6, so Dolphins 8-6 on that. So good coverage and the 2-point conversion that Daniel Finger dialed up. Daniel Finger and offensive coordinator Eddie Boucher, the Conrad to Barry Gordon completion, has them with a 2-point lead here after Mayra answered with a big time run. Whew.
Dolphins kickoff return. Haven't had too many of these this year.
No, that's true. I mean, last week, and again, that's only the second touchdown the defense has given up, and the defense has yet to give up a sustained drive. Both touchdowns scored by opposing offenses have been on splash plays. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's Mayra kicking it deep. That is
good
Bardsma. Bardsma to the 20, keeping his feet, getting to the outside, out to the 25-yard line, where he was tackled by number 80, Britton Perkins of the Lane Tech champions. So Conrad will lead the Dolphins back out on the field, taking over 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Again, just started the second quarter here. 8-6 Dolphins lead. Luke Jolich, good news, back in the lineup. He is the running back to Jolich's left. Gray, Duhan now in motion. Conrad going to keep it. Going to get spun around up to the 29-yard line. Spun that down there by Gregory Howard. Saw him make some nice tackle for loss plays in that Thornton Fractional South. How do you say Thornton Fractional South? Shorter than Thornton Fractional South. Thornton South? I don't know. Anyway, there's probably an abbreviation or an acronym I should be using there. Anyway, that was a good game for him. Both Howards on the D-line making some plays. Conrad, Jolich directly behind him. Give to Jolich. Jolich doing a nice job getting out for a first down across the 35-yard line. He was tackled there by number 24, Gabriel White. White going to check out. Looked like he took a shot to his lower leg on that play from Jolich, but good job. Good to see Jolich back in the game. White doesn't quite make it off the field, so we're going to have a little stoppage of play here. He made a valiant effort.
He did.
He made it outside the numbers. He finally decided he wasn't going any further. And I don't know, maybe it could have been a cramp just the way he was hopping around out there again with the dew point where it is tonight. Could have some.
And we're up to
issues.
66 degrees, Barry.
66 dew points. And I'm going to say Sam, the trainer's name, as many times as I can tonight to make up for all the times I called him Alex last week. Sam is over here checking out as well. So we've got on the board so far a pick 6. So that is our second pick six of the season, correct? We had Mach 5 with a pick six earlier this year.
We did.
BG3 now adding to that. Nice to see him back on the field. So, yeah, Quinn had that pick six in the Perspectives game. White getting a good hand from the homecoming crowd here as he makes his way off the field. So, again, kind of recapping, the Dolphins come in strong rushing attack. Both Yolich and Warner, who missed the game last week, are over 100 yards on the year. Champion and Gray are over 100 yards on the year, both with long touchdown runs. And Von Conrad, with his runs today, is also over 100. So Dolphins have really been loading it up on the run game, but Conrad with that two-point throw and completion to Quinn Duhan on a little shovel pass. So a couple passes already, 2 passes already completed in the regular game, 1 in the 2-point conversion. There's a handoff to Warner. Warner looking for a spot. He's wrestled down by number 34, Tomas Carrasco. I think Carrasco's getting a talking to from the referee right now, saying, knock off whatever that was at the end of the play there.
Yeah, a little push.
Chill
end.
there, my friend. So Warner, first carry of the game here, picks up 2. Trying to get some of that triple jump action in there. Thing that Warner has is just incredible short acceleration. We've seen that in the Corliss and Perspectives games. So he's the running back to Von Conrad's right. Conrad now shifts him over to the left. 3 receivers to the bottom. Now BG3 in motion. Still to the right side of your screen. There's Warner. Slips a little bit on his way through and is met again by Tomas Carrasco. So Carrasco with back-to-back plays out of his defensive line position for Lane Tech. So he's going to bring up a 3rd and long. Probably a loss of a yard on that play. So 3rd and 10 from the 36. Dolphins need to get it out to the 46. Conrad getting the play. We got DeMille as a receiver on the top side. Gordon joining him. Joseph Gray closest to us. Max Warner behind Von Conrad. Actually, it looks like it might be Yolich. Oh, it was back. Nice pass right to Joseph Gray. Gray. Whoa. Von Conrad put some miles per hour on that one. Zipped it in there to Joseph Gray.
Joseph Gray, football player. And that third pass.
Nice job. So Gray just got the inside leverage on the defensive back. And Conrad just one step and fired it out there. Kind of looked like the number 12 from last year with a rocket arm out there. Shout out to you there, Bennett Newman, if you're tuning in on this game.
Bloomington, Indiana.
Hoosiers lining up against Charlotte tomorrow. Undefeated Indiana Hoosiers. Conrad, the quarterback. Scott Meir in motion. Maxwell Warner keeping his feet, trying to get outside, but wrapped up before he could do so by number 51, who is not on my roster, but has made his second play of the game. Special teams tackle earlier, and now that tackle. So Warner trying to find a little seam that he could get north and south on that, but shut down by the Lane Tech defensive line. 2nd down and 9. Gray, the receiver, to the right. 3 receivers to the top side. Conrad giving it. Keeping it. Conrad pulled it at the last second. He gets positive yardage. Thought he was going to give it to Warner, but he read the spot where he could get inside on that run. Picked up about 2 yards. So still languishing in Lane Tech territory where the offense, well, I guess we were in languishing in Dolphin territory. We were in Lane Tech territory for a brief time before a holding call on the first possession. Again, this game just kind of flying by. We've got 7 minutes left in the second quarter. Both teams running the ball a lot, so they run and the clock runs. I think Jolich is checked in now. Running back to the left of Jolich. Scott Meir in motion. Scott Meir resets. Vaughn back to pass. Rushed out of the pocket. He's waving deep, and it gets picked off. He was going for Joseph Gray. Picked off by number 10. So that's one of their top receivers and top defensive backs, Harrison Bakunis. He had Gray. Gray had a step on Bakunis, but I think with Conrad rolling to his left, didn't quite get his hips all the way around and get enough oomph into that throw.
Exactly. It was there. It's a little underthrown this time.
So that is the second turnover of the game. First was the BG3 pick, and now the Bakunis pick for Lane Tech. Mayra back out there after his long touchdown run on the last possession. Gives it to Cole. Cole close to a first down carry. Quinn Duhan cleaning up in the end. Looks like John Spellers in the game at an outside linebacker position for the Dolphins, but a pickup of about 8 yards for Cole. Call it 9 yards on that first down carry. So check of the lineup here. Looks like Cepeda, Paracchini, MJ Woods, who had a sack in the first quarter on the D-line. BG3 Champion as your outside backers. So I think Speller's just in for a play on that. Latham, Duhan, your safeties. Mayra with Cole next to him. Gives it to Cole. Cole with a blocker in front of him. Quinn Duhan pushes the issue, and then your proverbial pod of Dolphins with Jolich on the bottom of that. But first down carry for Cole across the Lane Tech 45 out to the 47-yard line.
That was good vision by Cole.
Yeah, and he had a good pulling blocker out there. He had Daniel Howard. Daniel Howard leading the way. Howard, Graham Sumner on their line, 6'5", 320. So across the board, that offensive line all in that 280 to 300 range. Minos checks in as the fullback spot. He's got about that on his frame. Cole looking to get outside. Luke Jolich slows him up, and then Paracchini and some friends clean up on the backside. Gray and Champion as well. But that play was caused by the pressure up front to start with.
The UN security force only on offense, Barry, or defense?
Yeah, I think because it's a security force, and I think about the UN isn't as much of the attackers as they are the protectors.
Okay,
but you'll have to tell me more about that. You have firsthand experience with some of that stuff.
I do. We'll come up with a nickname for the defensive line.
So Oshesky, one of those, the Polish contingent of the UN security force, checks in at the nose position now. Paracchini out. Mayra, second down and 10. He moves both Cole and Minos over to his left-hand side. He's got two receivers and a tight end to the top. High snap. Mayra looking downfield. Good coverage. Excellent coverage by Maxwell Warner. He just
step for step.
Yeah. He had Bakunis entirely mirrored. By the time that play was done, Bakunis was almost sitting on the Lane Tech bench. Not as much as MJ Woods introduced one of the Johnson players to the Johnson bench last week. This was just on a nice in-phase coverage by Maxwell Warner from his right cornerback position. So now third down, another third down. We've seen a bunch already today. Three receivers top, one to the bottom for Mayra. He's on his own in the backfield, which is dangerous. He's pulls down. He's looking to run. Joseph Gray, football player, and Luke Jolich usher him out of bounds across the 50, but that'll be a fourth down and 6, and it looks like Lane Tech is going to bring in their punting unit. I think Mayra is also their punter, which brings a whole nother element into play. So Mayra, the punter, Quinn Duhan, deep for the Dolphins. Snap is going to come just inside Dolphin territory at the 49. And it looks like we're going to get a timeout, maybe? I think a timeout. Timeout called by Diedrich DeWitt, head coach of Lane Tech. He didn't like something that he saw there, or maybe he wanted to think over the fourth down play here and what they might be able to dial up.
I think earlier this week, Barry, we had called them the team up north. I think we should refer to them as that going forward.
Yeah, it's always dangerous because I think we end up with quite a few Team Up North Lane Tech champion fans on the live stream. But, you know, I guess if you're watching in the stands, it's dangerous for us. If you're watching at home, well, then it's okay.
Well, the Godfather, Tony McHale, and the Godfather Part 2, Barry Newman, did not put the time in for this to not be a Dolphin broadcast.
Fair enough, yes. I mean,
Godfather
the paycheck
Part
we
2.
get.
Some people say better movie.
Yeah. I'm not gonna take on the Godfather. So Mayra with the punt gets it away. A flying saucer sort of punt that's rolling dead at the. Well, let's see. I think it was down at the 1. First guy got there. It looked like it was just going to stop. Second guy got there and downed it. So Quinn Duan got out of the way. That kick literally was not end over end. It was just spinning sideways off of Mayra's foot. Ends up all the way down at the inside the 1 yard line. I mean, this thing is nearly on the chalk. So puts the Dolphins in a precarious position. One that you'd like to check on your UN security force and see if they're ready to do a little bit of a push up front while we get some fireworks.
Some more fireworks.
Conrad going to go right under center, right under the Serbian sledgehammer, Nick Dale. See if they can get a little bit there.
Looks like a yard.
Call a yard or two. Yard or two after that punt by Mayra. So Mayra, who had the touchdown run, the quarterback for the team up north, Lane Tech, has their score on the night. Also threw a pick 6 to BG3, Barry Gordon III. So Conrad's got a heck of a long run right now. He's got to run about 45 yards to get the play from Coach Eddie Boucher. This is where a little hand signaling might be a little easier, given he's probably just going to go under center and push this thing again. I'm wrong. They felt like they got enough, so Conrad, Jolich next to him. Conrad given to Jolich. Jolich with a nice job. Good job making a cut in the backfield. He's stopped by Amari Prince, but gets out of the shadow of that goalpost, picks up about 6 yards. And the Dolphins have to get just over the 10-yard line here. Jolich checking out, Max Warner checking in. So third down, 2:12 left in this first quarter. So be huge for the Dolphins to be able to get a first down here. A lot of this is just, can you keep the ball through the end of the half and not have to punt it back away? So there's Warner.
Go, Max.
Warner's going to be stopped short. A little too much dancing in the backfield. That's Tomas Carrasco again on that D-line spot. So the Dolphin punt unit is going to come on. Solomon Bradley is out there. I think Lane Tech going to take a timeout here to stop the clock. Stop the clock with 1:36. So key play here. Key 1 minute and 36 seconds for both of these teams. Lane going to have great field position coming out of this. So just at the end of the first half here, again, 8-6, Barry Gordon pick 6, Von Conrad to Barry Gordon on the 2-point conversion. Then Noah Mayra, quarterback, 6'4", 200-pound speedster for Lane Tech at a 70-yard run where couple Dolphins had a crack at him early, but then he hit the Jets, and even Mach 5, at Mach 5, wasn't able to bring him down. So Mayra's punt after that last possession was stopped by the Dolphin defense. Went down to the 1-yard line where Ben Barrett, 4.5-star long snapper, is going to send it to Solomon Bradley, who's lined up in the end zone, about 5 yards deep in the end zone. 2 men back, low snap.
Woo, got it away.
Solomon gets it away and bounces out of bounds just across the 30-yard line. So Lane Tech going to be in Dolphins territory with 1:30 left. Trying to remember if they took a timeout early. Let's see, what does the board say here? That they have 1 left? Yeah, they have 1 timeout left. I've got it wrong on our board. So 1 timeout left for Lane Tech. Right in front of us here as we exist in the middle of the Lane Tech faithful here on a homecoming night at Lane Stadium. Mayra at quarterback. Running back Vernon Cole to his left. High snap. Brings it down to Cole. Alex Oshesky on the tackle with Jolich. So clock continues to run. 1:18 left. Mayra gets his guys back out there. No huddle, 3 receivers top. Cole next to him. Snaps have been high all night. He's 6'4", though, so you can put it up there pretty high. Mayra, with time in the pocket, steps up. Jolich tackles him short of the first down.
Clock runs.
So clock still running. Coach calling in the play, so 3rd down and short. Lane Tech's got to get across the 20. Got to think probably a Mayra run here. Mayra back to pass.
Get home.
Good pressure up the middle. Good job by the Dolphins staying in their lanes. Really, really nice job by the defensive line and the outside backers. Mayra kept looking for a spot to get upfield on that, and he was forced to just stay in the pocket as it was collapsing and lofted one out of bounds, which stops the clock with 34 seconds left, but a 4th down play here. So big 4th down play. Dolphin defense looking to get a stop here after Lane Tech took over at the Dolphin 30-yard line. Mayra, 3 receivers top, 2 to the bottom. Mayra takes it on his own. He's got the first down. Hammered by a bunch of Dolphins and a timeout taken. Their last timeout taken by Lane Tech with 27.9 seconds left. So, Mayra at 6'4", 200 pounds, did some tough sledding inside there for Lane Tech to pick up the first down.
No, he's a tremendous inside runner. So as much as if we even thought that was the play, I don't know what we could have done to stop it.
So Dolphins have an opportunity here. So Lane Tech out of timeouts. Incomplete pass will stop the clock. First down will stop the clock. Lane Tech has, trying to remember if they've completed a pass yet today. Your assignment was Whitney Young Dolphins passes. Not sure they have a completion on the day other than the one to BG3. But Mayra definitely capable of it. I mean, he came in 31 of 59 on the year for 496 yards. So definitely has the ability. They're lined up in a spread formation. No one in the backfield, but as we know, it doesn't matter with Mayra back there. 3 receivers top, 2 to the bottom. BG3 on the coverage on the outside. Awesome catch out there. Great throw and catch. That was just about the only spot that Mayra could put it to Julian Vickery, who reels in the touchdown. Dropped it through the chimney.
That was a great play. They had the big tight end out wide, and then it was.
Yeah, so 3 receivers to the top put BG3 in coverage against Julian Vickery, the 5'8", 160-pound senior wide receiver, leading wide receiver for Lane Tech. He corrals his second touchdown on the year. Lane Tech unsuccessful on 2 last time, but they trot out their place kicker, number 91, who I don't have on the roster, but I'm sure his parents know he is. Low snap, but he hammers it through. The unknown kicker from the team up north puts Lane Tech up 13-8 with 21 seconds left here. So big play there was the Mayra punt. Right? The punt that went down to the 1 yard line. If that goes into the end zone, Dolphins starting and probably are able to run more of their traditional offense, get a first down and run out the clock, but instead forced to punt it away. Mayra picks up a big first down and then throws a dime, drops it in the back corner of the end zone. Last time we were here that we saw a pass like that, it was Bennett Newman to Nazir Rankin in the game against Kenwood. This time we're not quite as happy.
Not as happy.
I'm warmer. It was kind of cold that day, but warm in our hearts as the Dolphins played in the Chicago Public League Championship game here at Lane Tech last year against Kenwood. Eventually dropping that game, but playing a great game and putting Whitney Young back on the map from a football perspective. That's Bardsma fielding at the 5. Getting to the outside, seeing if he can do a Quinn Duhan impersonation from last week. Gets it out to the 20-yard line. 13.5 seconds left. I think we're just going to get Von Conrad out there to probably take a knee on these. Go back to the locker room at halftime. Look at the film. I mean, for the most part, this game, a lot of runs in this game. Mayra doing his job as the Lane Tech quarterback. He's been stopped a number of times, but he busted off the explosive run, and then now the pass over to Vickery. So Conrad going to keep it, see if there's a spot for him to run. He gets thrown down at the 25-yard line by Howard. Daniel Howard on the tackle, and the clock will run out on the first half of this game. Entertaining, action-packed as we imagined. So Lane Tech on their homecoming with a 13-8 lead over your Whitney Young Dolphins. I'm going to take a quick drink of a non-adult beverage here.
Quite a great environment here tonight at Lane Stadium. The Lane Tech champion students decided on a blackout, and then coincidentally, the Whitney Young Dolphin students also decided on the blackout. Is there a rule? Should be a card game, or someone should get to serve first? Because you can't tell the students apart because they both chose a blackout.
Do you think that they're showing their solidarity with each other?
Maybe they are.
Is LTK a solid sort of a? It's a term of endearment.
It might be. These kids shared a lot of elementary schools, including Oscar Mayer, Lincoln, Alcott. So maybe it's that, Barry.
It could be. We'll have to get a little more input from everybody. So let's jump into halftime. Halftime. I've got some notes here. It was a big week in Whitney Young sports. Actually, the game that went on just before, and this is not an omen, I'm just going to put it out there, flag football actually was Lane against Whitney Young right here. I had thoughts about trying to live stream that. It would have been fun seeing Hayden Petrulis as a quarterback for the Whitney Young Dolphins, who also has spent some time on the tackle football team. But it was a little too early. It was a 5 o'clock start, and I thought, well, maybe that's a little too much for people to hang in for, like, 8 hours of listening to me talk. But anyway, Lane Tech with a win in that game, 12-0. that was the 4th game of the week for the Whitney Young Dolphins. Before that, they had reeled off 3 different wins. So win over Ogden on Tuesday, 30-6. Win over Von Steuben, 29-0. And a 28-0 win over St. Francis. So defense only gave up 6 points in those first 3 games of the week. Also mentioned the JV team with a 22-0 win over St. Francis. So that was the flag football team. Let me talk to you about the Golf and Dolphins.
Golf and Dolphins?
Yeah, Golf and Dolphins. So on Monday, I was able to sneak out for a little 5:18 tee time at Maravitz. I got out there with a couple of my friends, wrapped up some work, or put one of those meetings on my calendar late in the day, you know, some mystery meeting that went from 4:15 to 6:30, so nobody else would try to call me. And I went out golfing. I think we're on the 3rd hole. Yeah, on the 3rd hole, and all of a sudden I see somebody coming along, and it's a blue and orange golf bag. And, you know, it's kind of hard in the city, right? That could be Latin. That could be Peyton. I know all those schools kind of golf over there. And I saw one of the dads, and I'm like, you know, I'm in the middle of the golf course. I'm like, hey, what team is that? And he's like, it's Whitney Young. And I yell, the Golf and Dolphins, right when the girl from the north side was in her backswing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm going to take a little bit of the credit for the Golf and Dolphins winning at they beat Northside. They finished probably better than I did that day at Maravitz. They are undefeated on the season. So the girls golf team undefeated. Went over Northside earlier in the week. They beat Lane last Saturday. So Isabella Rosat was the lowest score of the match. And in looking at some of the things earlier this year, Jasmine McGee has been strong all season. Saw a bunch of sub-40s for her, including a 36 a couple weeks ago. Boys golf, 2nd place finish in their divisional tournament. They were 5 shots behind the school from up north. So the school from up north, Lane, and Whitney Young, very close at the top end. 3rd place team Taft was 47 shots in back of Whitney Young. Gray Heelan, Everett Carley, Mark Goldstein all shot in the 70s, with Gray co-leading the tournament with a 2/72. So good job, Gray Heelan, captain of the boys golf team. Wins already this season over Amundsen and Lincoln Park. And so good job by this guy. The team this year, last year, really, really strong Dolphins team. Henry Ryland, who is the leading golfer on that team, is playing out at Occidental College in California. Switching over to volleyball. Volleyball off to a good start to the year. 3-1 in conference. They actually dropped a game to Lane last night, Thursday night. Close match there, sort of what we have going on here. So Lane won 25-19 first match. Dolphins came back for a 25-17 win. 3rd match, a close one, 25-22 win by Lane. Girls tennis keeps doing what girls tennis does. Another win, so they stay undefeated. Another clean sweep. So had the brooms out every game, every set, every match against Lakeview earlier this week. Also a win over Lab and a win over Lincoln Park yesterday. So girls tennis off to a great start to the season. School of Champions doing what the School of Champions does.
Go Dolphins.
Let's talk a little Chicago and IHSA football. So this is clearly a big rivalry game on the north side. I mean, we're central, but the team up north is up north. Big time south side rivalry game going on. Maybe I'd like to call it the biggest game for sure the biggest game in Chicago this weekend. That's number 19 Morgan Park against Kenwood. That game is happening tomorrow here at Lane, 1:30. So I think they bring it to the north side, hoping that the stands stay a little cleaner, a little clearer. It gets a little rough on the field and off the field at some of those matchups down at Gately. So Morgan Park comes in 2-1, 1-0 in the public league. They've shut out their last 2 opponents after opening with a loss at Marist. So we're well aware of Marcus Thaxton, their quarterback. He's on some D1 radars, and we're even more aware of once a Dolphin, always a Dolphin, Nasir Rankin, who has at least 3 touchdowns in the year. Nas this week picked up football offers from Duke, Row the Boat, Minnesota, and my favorite, Northwestern.
Is that right?
Yep. So Nas is now has offers at, I think, at least 6 Big Ten schools: Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana. Bennett, you got to do a better job of recruiting him down there, get him in the door. Michigan State, Minnesota, Northwestern, bunch of MAC schools. I'm sure that those offers are going to continue to come in. Check out Nas Rankin on social media if you want to see some speed and some moves. I mean, you saw it all here last year when he was on the field. Now we got some serious fireworks going on. So anyway, Nas in action. Morgan Park taking on Kenwood. Nas is joined by other D1 guys already committed. Senior guys, Jameer Washington, committed to Wisconsin. Javon Clark, their standout sort of hybrid safety linebacker, going to Wyoming. And Ahmad Grayer. Kenwood's 1-2 coming in the game. But, of course, they opened to losses to St. Francis, and we know what St. Francis did to Loyola and to Naz. So Nazareth Academy, who played Mount Carmel toe-to-toe last week. So the Broncos, with their 2 losses, they took care of Peyton last week, 1-0. So they're 1-0 in the Chicago Public League Red Division. Two-way starter DeMaje Williams has 8 interceptions already for Kenwood on the season. Other Chicago Public League things I want to mention. We've got a couple, the undefeated so far in the Red Division. I mean, only 1 game in, but Amundsen at Taft. So that has got to be a fun game. Those teams look a lot alike. A lot of big, strong dudes. Amundsen coming into that game after a win last week over Hyde Park. Taft with a win over Brooks. So Amundsen 3-0 undefeated on the season. Taft 2-1. So a hard-hitting game going on right now over at Taft. Saturday games, we've got Clark 2-1 on the season, also 1-0 against Lincoln Park. So Lincoln Park 3-0 on the season, undefeated. Similar to what Whitney Young's opening of the season was. They've also played White Division programs to start out the year, but they're 3-0, 1-0. So they had a big upset win, 20-10 over Phillips last week. Cam Toussaint in that game was 11 for 16 with 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. And quite frankly on that, the LP defense must be good because the only score by Phillips in that game, the only touchdown scored in that game was on a kickoff return. And Simeon did not even cross into Lincoln Park territory in the second half. Back to your Alcott guys, Andrew Phelps with a multiple sacks and game-sealing interception. Game-sealing interception from Andrew. Andrew didn't have multiple sacks. That was just where my notes were on this. But Andrew, whose dad, Greg, was golfing with me on Monday when we saw the Dolphins. I don't know if you had that on your bingo card, but if you did, you're a winner.
I love to have a lot of Alcott being mentioned tonight. And then we scrimmaged Lincoln Park, and then hopefully this bodes well for our competitiveness in the red this year.
Yep, absolutely. Simeon going up against Phillips. Simeon 2-1, Phillips 1-2. Simeon coming off a close 16-6 win over Clark. So Clark will be interesting. They had a win in the first week against Johnson, but a game that Johnson entirely dominated. And then Clark came back and played Simeon really tough. Peyton 2-1 overall, 0-1 against Westinghouse. They come in with that same record. Again, Peyton lost last week to Kenwood 27-0. They're looking for their first official Red Division win. Westinghouse got hammered last week by Morgan Park 54-0, which is introducing life. You heard Coach Finger, if you were listening to the pregame, he talked about Askaya Bully, who is the all-state quarterback at Westinghouse the last 2 years, who is playing out at College of DuPage with the best wide receiver in Whitney Young history, Anthony Hood. So
absolutely.
Westinghouse having trouble getting on the board without Bully in the backfield. Hyde Park going against Johnson. We hope our friends from Johnson can put themselves on the board with a win. They've certainly played well enough all year. And then Brooks going against Bulls Prep, also a Saturday game. We look at some other things across IHSA games. Got a game going on right now over at St. Francis where number 15 St. Rita is visiting St. Francis. So Rita has quality wins over Sandburg and Brother Rice. And then the loss that they had in the second game of the year against Mount Carmel. St. Francis 3-0, so they're up to 9 in the rankings after one of the biggest wins in their history, that 35-21 win over Loyola. That was actually the first night game in the history of Loyola. How about that? Everybody all fired up there, and St. Francis comes in and throws down a 35-21 win. Of course, the note in that was that Ryan Fitzgerald, the quarterback for Loyola, was out, but doesn't matter. St. Francis with quarterback Brody Palmer, one of the top two-way running passing quarterbacks in the state, and successor to current Michigan State freshman Alessio Milojevic. I can never say that guy's name. I've said it, Milojevic. I said it about, 40 times over the last 2 years because that guy was a dominant quarterback at St. Francis, I think a 4-year starter. But Brody Palmer threw it for 192 yards, 2 touchdowns, also ran for 87 yards and 2 more. You got Brother Rice and Loyola, so both those teams trying to bounce back after losses. So I think the big question there is Ryan Fitzgerald, son of Pat Fitzgerald, Ryan Fitzgerald committed to Iowa already. Will he be back, and can Loyola get back in the win column? St. Ignatius traveling to Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel ranked number 2, undefeated. They've been scoring a lot, also giving up a lot. So, but I would definitely put money on Carmel in that game. IC Catholic traveling to Naz. So Naz again, 2-time state champions led by Gabe Kaminsky, Stanford commit. Naz coming off that close loss to Mount Carmel last week. They're going to look back again, 5-time state champs. The last 2 years they started out, I think they've lost either their first 4 games of the year or 4 of their first 5, and they were able to rally, get on a run at the end of the year. So really, really talented team at Naz. Number 8, Marist, going to number 23, Joliet Catholic. Joliet Catholic beat Fenwick last week. Fenwick led by Nate Marshall. I know that he had a couple touchdown catches in that game, but I believe they got stopped at the end of the game on a 2-point conversion. So Joliet Catholic with the win there. Marist led by Lincoln Way East transfer Jake Ritter at quarterback. So he's done a nice job there. That team also has guys playing at the next level next year. John McAuliffe commit to Cornell at running back. Brad Fitzgibbons going to Iowa, and Achilles Anderson going to Harvard. So guys going to Cornell and Harvard out of Marist. Good for them. Number 7, Barrington on the road at number 19, Maine South. Funny thing, I don't know if I mentioned, Maine South, 5 of the last 8 years, they have lost their quarterback to injury within the first 1 or 2 games of the season. Yet they've produced a bunch of guys that are at D2, D3 programs. You've got quarterback. Why am I blanking on their quarterback's name? Because I don't have a note on him. But anyway, he's pretty darn good. They've got a backup quarterback there who's got 20 offers to a bunch of D1 things that we'll see some action probably later in the year. Number 12, St. Charles North, traveling to number 5, Batavia. So anybody that's in the far west suburbs has got some football action in the Duquesne Conference. 4-year starting quarterback Ethan Plum has passed for 418 yards and 6 touchdowns with 1 interception for St. Charles North. He's run for another 140 yards. And we're almost done with halftime here. And I'm still talking. I think it's because it's homecoming. It's a long halftime. Whew.
It is pretty long. We have the countdown down to from 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, then another 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. We got to get back out there and do some more. That was definitely a long clock. So we got Wheaton Academy traveling to Hope. So the second Chicagoland Christian Conference matchup for Chris Millett's Chicago Hope team. Hope was a winner in their first conference game last week. So, Jack, let's talk a little bit about this game. Again, a game that Dolphins first drive. I'm doing this all off the top of my head, Tony, so if you're listening to me. First drive, Dolphins did a nice job. Jolich running the ball, first down run by Von Conrad, got into lane territory, but then had that crucial holding penalty that pushed them back and forced them to punt.
Yeah, some promising offense in the first half. No real follow through on any drives.
Yeah, and then Lane Tech, they were able to move the ball a little bit, but no sustained drives. Right? I mean, the defense, Jolich, Gray doing a nice job. Rayton Scottmere got in there after Jolich was out for a few plays. Nice defensive plays on the edge in the defensive backfield by both Miles Bardsma and Maxwell Warner. The pick six by BG3, followed up by the 2-point conversion from Conrad to BG3, put the Dolphins up 8-0. But that was answered by the Bakunis. Oh, there was a Bakunis pick in there, which gave Lane Tech the ball back. Mayra with that big 70-yard touchdown run.
Long run.
And then right before halftime, so the Dolphins were pinned back inside their 1-yard line on a punt by Mayra. Were not able to get the first down after 3 runs. Got it close, but not quite. Had to punt the ball away. Ball punted away to the 30. So Mayra and the Lane Tech champions took over at the 30. They were able to get a first down on a 4th down play. Mayra getting some hard yardage in the middle. And then Mayra threw the touchdown. Must have been a 15-yard touchdown pass to Vickery. They converted the point after by an unknown kicker, number 91. So as we roll into the second half, Lane Tech won the opening toss, declined. So we're going to have Solomon Bradley ready to kick off.
Looks like the Dolphins kickoff team is out there. We have Brian Pantoja on the team. 86, Fabrizio Bell.
Scottmere out there.
Ray Scottmere.
Alan Espinosa.
Andrew Latham.
Deep kick by Bradley, fielded by Vickery inside the 10.
Nice
he is
hit.
met and brought down. Let's call that Rayton Scottmere on the tackle. Again, if you're joining us, we've had Remy Vaudel, who's usually on camera, had some transportation issues, couldn't get up here tonight, so we're using our backup equipment, but number one in our heart, Jane Hu, on the camera tonight. Rayton Scottmere's mom, who after a game a couple years ago knew that we were woefully incompetent with the camera and also trying to talk at the same time, so she's jumping in here on camera tonight. We're doing our best to bring this to Dolphin Nation.
Well, thank you for taking that royal we for me, Barry.
Mayra under center. He's got Minos as the up back. Cole behind him. Flips it to Cole. Good pursuit, Luke Jolich. Jolich and Gray from their inside linebacker positions. They've kept Cole in check all night. Cole came in as the leading running back with 189 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Cole they've kept bottled up. For the most part, they've kept Mayra bottled up other than his explosive touchdown run. So second down and 9.5. Vickery running on late, getting the play from one of his wide receiver friends on the top. 3 receivers on the top, 1 to the bottom. Cole next to Mayra in the backfield. Mayra, loopy snap, reels it in. MJ Woods, nice job. Oh, that was a completion, but Mach 5 had his eyes on a pick 6 right there. Completion over to Alex Lagus. But Duhan reading that thing
right through his hand.
from his safety position had visions of another pick 6 here at Lane, where he has, I believe, 2 of them already in his career. Not necessarily against Lane, but at Lane Stadium. So good pressure that time by MJ Woods. These snaps coming from the center. Mayra at 6'4" is doing all he can to corral these things in. Ooh. Another high snap. MJ Woods with good pressure. Loop deep. Oh. Nice job. Bad call by the referee on a pass interference penalty that's going to go on Bardsma right in front of him. Bardsma had good coverage.
Step for step.
Yep. Coach Finger giving some encouragement to his guys, but lousy call. We've seen some of those here before. So that'll give Lane Tech a first down. And I mean, okay, if it'll be good to look at that on replay. There was minimal contact right in front of the ref, and he felt compelled to throw out a flag, giving Lane Tech the first down at the 47-yard line. There's a handoff to a new running back, number 41. Jolich brings him down. That is Samuel Bodu, sophomore running back, 5'9", 170 pounds. Bodu checking in for Cole at the running back position. So that gets the ball in to Dolphin territory all the way to the 48. So good first down run for the champions. Mayra with Bodu next to him. Give to Bodu. BG3 and Juan Cepeda clean it up with Joseph Gray on the end of that. So stop him short on that second down run. Maybe no gain. Looks like we've got a Dolphin down on the field. Dolphin down on the field with a cramp. Barry Gordon. You can tell he took his helmet off and immediately grabbed the Gatorade bottle.
Get that man some hydration.
Yep.
Big third down coming up here.
Yep, so just into the third quarter here. Lane Tech on their first drive of the third quarter. Again, if we look back to the first half, the other notable, we had the BG3 pick, but Bakunis also had a pick. Conrad, who was rolling to his left, tried to get one out to Gray. So that was an interception, and I don't have the play chart written down, but I think that interception was the resulted in the possession that Mayra scored the touchdown. So Dolphins, a little bit of a short week. Back in action on Thursday, 4:15 kickoff, homecoming game for the Dolphins out at Rockne Stadium. So give yourself one of those afternoon meetings, block that schedule, come out to Rockne.
I think business lunch followed by game at Rockne, 4:15 kick.
I think offsite, right? Offsite. Important offsite meeting.
Business lunch. And then Whitney Young homecoming is next Saturday, September 27th, for these young men and women.
All right, it'll be fun. We'll have to see if we get any creative HOCO invites. There was one going on before the game here. I think that might have been a Lane Tech football player who was asking a Lane Tech flag football player. He was trying to get in to the stadium, and the security was all tight. He was standing there in the middle of the Whitney Young team with this bouquet of flowers. So I thought it was kind of cool. Nobody really made a big deal out of it. But
that's pretty cool.
They've got their HOCO going on, I'm guessing, tomorrow night. So Mayra, Bodu stays as the running back to his right. Mayra going to keep it. Good job. Jolich, Gray,
short.
Aaron Champion close that down. Minimal gain, so it'll be fourth down. Oh, I've got to fix our timeouts here. Everybody's got their full contingent. Mayra getting the signal. He's going to course, stay on the field. They got 2 yards to go here. D-line. You got Adrian Del Villar checking in on the D-line, along with Nick Dale, Marcus Woods. Mayra waiting for the snap, giving it to Badu. Nick Dale grabs him and pulls him backwards. We're gonna have to see where the where the mark is, but I think they're marking it short. That was short. Nick Dale, ladies and gentlemen, the Serbian sledgehammer, saying not on my watch.
First down, Dolphins.
Turnover on downs. Tried to run up the middle where Dale was occupying that nose tackle spot. Good job, Nick, turning the ball over to the Whitney Young Dolphins. Dolphins trailing here 13-8 early in the third quarter. 8:19 left. I think what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is the Wildcat formation. Joseph Gray going to run Wildcat quarterback. Jolich is out there with him. 2 receivers at the top, 3 to the bottom. Jolich going to motion into the backfield. Gray going to keep it, trying to get north-south, and he goes nowhere. So Lane Tech read that well.
Yeah,
Number 51, mystery man on my roster at least. His 3rd big play of the night. So Gray over to the sideline. You can see Conrad is right next to Coach Boucher. So Gray, who was able to get north and south last week for some nice pickups in that game against Johnson. When you go Wildcat, you pick up a blocker, but you eliminate some of the threat of a pass. So Gray keeps it, looks for it up the middle. Nice move up the middle, gets close to the 50-yard line. So I'm sure they've been working on this. So Gray, slow to get up now. Jolich checking on him. So looks like he's fine. Looks like Coach Finger said, hey, save yourself the trouble. Coach Boucher said, save yourself the trouble. Don't run over here. We're going to run the play in. So Rayton Scottmere checks in. Duhan out. 3rd down and 5. Dolphins need to get it inside the 46-yard line. So Gray, Jolich in the backfield. Lane looking. Gray trying to get out, but swallowed up by that D-line of Lane Tech. Looked like Prendel Miles and Howard on the tackle. So now you've got a decision to make here on 4th down. 4th and a long 4 at the 50-yard line.
See what Riverboat Dan is going to do here.
Boucher is talking to Vaughn Conrad over there. I think Conrad's going to come into the game. So Conrad and Jolich check in. Scottmere Bardsma out. So we'll need to call that play in a hurry in the huddle here as the clock is rolling. Gray, receiver to the top. BG3, actually it's Ayakunle Alan Espinosa. There's a pitch to Duhan. Duhan trying to get up the middle. Mach 5. Mach 5.
Mach 5. Go Quinn.
No flags. Mach 5 hitting the Jets to the house.
That's a kid from Akron.
That's Akron, baby.
The kid from Akron.
So got a little eye candy going on there. Got Mach 5, Quinn Duhan the ball. And a 50-yard touchdown run gets the Wildcat, the Dolphin faithful up and cheering here. Getting ahead on the board, 14-13.
Coach Avery's going to dial up another 2-point conversion, looks like.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you're up 1 right now, so the 2 doesn't do you a whole lot. So Conrad checking in. So that score, 50-yard TD run.
What a momentum changer there. 4th down play. This could have gone.
4th and 5. So Conrad, Jolich next to him. Duhan in motion. Looking, drills it in, broken up. He's trying to squeeze the ball into Gray, I think. So Dolphins stay ahead, 14-13. Again, Mach 5 with the 50-yard touchdown run. With 5:37 left here in the third quarter. Wow.
That would have been potentially a big momentum gain for the school up north. So great play, great play call, great execution.
Yeah, I mean,
just a kid from Akron.
Just a kid from Akron. Kid from Akron, actually. If you want to go that direction, we're at Fritz Pollard Stadium, Fritz Pollard Field. Fritz Pollard, first African-American to play in the NFL and coach in the NFL. You know what team that was with?
Maybe Dayton Triangles.
The Akron Pros.
Akron Pros.
Yeah, yep. So he went to, Fritz Pollard went to Lane Tech. I think he went to Cornell, and then played, had an NFL career. Sign of the times, all of a sudden the African-American players in the NFL were no longer in the NFL in 1926. There's a kickoff return by Vickery, getting to the outside, blocking the back. Yep, blocking the back, coming back, but Solomon Bradley just wanted to throw some wood out there anyway. Yeah. So he's like, hey, why don't you return it all this way? And then the flag is down at inside the 30-yard line. Multiple flags. There's one on the far side. There's a clear block in the back over here on this side. So Lane Tech gonna be marched backwards on that after a nice return by Vickery, but Solomon Bradley, who has a great kicking huddle tape, also with some hits on the sideline. I mean, doubles as a safety, so it's not like he's your traditional kicker.
I think blocking the back, Whitney, he called it the wrong way, but it was.
Yeah, he called it the wrong way. So Lane is going to start. 5:30 left here in the third quarter. They're going to start with the ball at the 25-yard line. Looks like Cole is back in at running back. Mayra, their quarterback, with a long run and a nice pass for a touchdown earlier today to Vickery. 2 touchdowns for Lane. There's the handoff to Cole. Cole gets some room there. Joseph Gray, football player, makes the tackle.
Looks like we have a little chat.
I think that's Latham.
Latham and Daniel Howard.
Yep.
Oscar Meyer, Alcott banter.
Yep. Maybe talking about those flag football games back in the day. But good sign of sportsmanship. I mean, you got Howard, who is weighing in at 270 pounds, getting downfield to the third level on Latham, who's generously listed at 165 pounds. So second down, handoff to Minos, met in the hole. Champion there, but the initial stack on that, I think, was Oshevsky. So the pole tackled the Greek on that.
Love it.
Again, Spiro Mimos, fullback for Lane Tech. First time we see him getting the ball today. So now Dale, Pericini, Woods on the D-line. Going to be...
Looks like a first down.
Oh, was it? They did pick up first on that.
Get home.
Oh, Woods ran into Gray and knocked him off.
Nice.
But Luke Jolich, shot out of a cannon.
Woo!
Jolich with the sack. That was big time, because Gray and Woods, who had early pressure on Mayra, knocked each other off. Jolich reading that from his linebacker position. I mean, Jolich has enough to stand on his own, but I will say a little shout out to number 33, Joseph Clayton. That was Clayton-esque.
It was.
So loss of 4 on the play. Second down. Mayra, Cole next to him. 2 receivers to the top. Mayra, high snap, reels it in, loops one out. Oh, that one's going to get another flag,
yeah,
and that one was deserved. So Bardsma on the coverage. Harrison Bakunis had a step on him. Duhan was trying to get back. It was a high floating pass from Mayra, kind of winged it out there, and Bardsma ended up with the penalty. And just because I like to call it the way I see it, that was a penalty. The last one was not. This one was.
Yeah, I think he never tracked the ball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was beat by a step, and so he was trying to get caught up so you could maybe get his head around, and the ball just got there too soon. So first down, Lane Tech takes over at the 47. They're 47. Mayra going to keep it himself. Gets outside. Jolich trying to track him down. Jolich goes low and takes him out at the ankles.
Nice tackle. Not easy.
Not easy at all. You got 6'4", 200 pounds. Luke's not afraid of anybody, but Mayra out there on his own. Luke with a nice tackle. We know what Mayra is able to do once he's able to get those long strides going. Picks up a first down into Dolphins territory.
Yeah, new corner in the game for the Dolphins.
Yeah, Kendall Lynham checks in. Lynham checking in. Actually, I think he's in because Bardsma is still in, so I think maybe Maxwell Warner. We haven't seen Max back on the offensive side for a bit. We got a Dolphin player down right now. We'll try to check out who that is. Getting 2:34. This game is clipping along here, so if you got some late dinner plans or somewhere you got to be, keep the game on. We're going to keep it rolling here. Dolphins 14-13. Again, 2:34 left here in the third quarter. Hot night, 65 dew points. Which, again, yeah, same. We got the same deal. We got a Gatorade bottle out, and I think we have Barry Gordon.
Yeah, dew point moved up a degree to 66,
yep.
So maybe a little bit more cramping.
BG3 has got a pick 6 on the day and a 2-point conversion score. Hey, BG2, get that kid a little more hydrated during the day, right? Hydrate or dihydrate here.
Love it. Well, at some point during the broadcast, we'll get to some action, but I know your daughter's team is over in South Bend.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Notre Dame. I'm going there.
Are you?
So Ellison
nice.
Newman was sending me all these photos today. She got some inside action. She was in the Notre Dame locker room. Saw the historic setup there. Sent me a great shot of touchdown Jesus.
Wonderful.
So, yeah, Notre Dame hosting the Miami Redhawks tomorrow. Back in action here. Mayra waiting for the snap. Rolling to his left. Joseph, the football player, Gray, gets him, but not after Mayra gets a good pickup downfield. So Mayra and Bennett Duras nice checking into that position for BG3. So you'd noted Lyman in. Kendall Lynham, the corner, who got a lot of action last week. Lynham in at a corner spot along with Bardsma. Duras in for BG3 at that outside linebacker spot. Aaron Champion, the other outside linebacker. We've seen a bit of Iakunle Allen Espinosa also. Paracchini on the nose, Dale, and Buster Cepeda on the line right now. Mayra waiting for the snap. He's got a guy in motion. Handoff to Cole.
Nice.
That's Paracchini. Paracchini in a pod.
I'm thinking maybe just
Aaron Champion saying he's got the ball out of there. But good pursuit down the line. I think we got another. We're gonna have to start. We're gonna have to go to that Mac action right now. So yeah, the Redhawks traveling after a disappointing loss last week for Miami. They were hosting Cincinnati in the Victory Bell game, but we're hoping Brett Gabbert, who's in his 48th year as a starting quarterback for the Miami Redhawks. Matt Salapak, Sally, Akron guy who's got connection to the Duhans. I think Matt Salapak's uncle played with Mark Duhan at Bishop Hoban, out there in Akron. So we got connections all over the place. What are the Max? Do we have an update on that Nebraska-Illinois
Pretty
score?
global. We do have the Illini are up early. Now we're third quarter. Illinois at Nebraska.
Ooh,
Huskers up
Nebraska.
17-10. Tight one.
Raiola, the Patrick Mahomes wannabe, who has really reinvigorated that Nebraska program. I mean, Nebraska's sort of so no offense, Mary Roskins, but Nebraska's sort of spun around in nowhere land since Tom Osborne left out there. Thought that the move to the Big Ten was going to do something for them, but they've existed in a cornfield of mediocrity. But Dominic Raiola, the top-rated freshman quarterback, has the Cornhusker Nations, the Cornheads.
He originally committed Nebraska, and I think Ohio State and Georgia might have been in there, and now back to Nebraska.
And then I don't know, probably the government of Nebraska found a $2 million NIL deal. So back in action here, third down, key play, Mayra back to pass. He's got time. Now he's rushed out of the pocket. He's got an open receiver. DeRoss misses the tackle. Jolich cleans it up on the backside. That was Harrison Bakunis. Bakunis with a big first down reception. Mayra kept it alive and did a little fling out there to Bakunis, who picks up the first down inside the 25. He's at the 23-yard line. Third quarter running down here. We're inside 20 seconds left. Mayra, I think, let's see if they want to take a play here or not. He's got a man in motion. That's Vickery. Inside handoff to number 33, stacked up by that Dolphin defensive line. So that was Amari Prince on the handoff, and that brings us to the end.
Fourth quarter.
End of the third quarter. We got ourselves a game here. I call it a barn burner. I don't know if it's a barn burner. It's awful exciting, and it's a heck of a game. So we flip to the fourth quarter, which allows the teams to hydrate. We've got another Dolphin down. We got even the lane training staff. Maybe they got a IV bag they could give some of these guys. Might be helpful. Actually, the Scott Clayton would always mention, it's like talk about the Gatorade is like, remember what the true cure for cramping up on a football field is?
I don't recall.
Pickle juice.
Right
Pickle
on.
juice,
right.
yeah.
Scott did mention that.
Yep. So they talked a lot about that. Actually, there's I noticed the kid out of Carmel Catholic, whose name I'm blanking on right now, but they've got a quarterback. It's interesting, and we'll do maybe some more of this at a halftime. I mean, Illinois has sort of become a quarterback mecca, and easy to point to a guy like J.J. McCarthy and seeing what he's doing. He was a NAS guy. I mean, he finished up his last year, I think, at IMG. But we got a list of high school guys right now. You got like the top 10 or 15 of those quarterbacks all going to top-end D1 schools. But then you look at the junior class. Jonas Williams out of Lincoln Way East. He transferred from Bolingbrook. He's committed to Oregon. So you have this huge list, and then you have these kids, the Maine South kid. So I'm just going to call him the kid because I don't remember their names. But Maine South kid got like 20-plus offers, and the Carmel Catholic kid, who is a sophomore this year, also has the same level. I mean, and you're talking 20 offers of like, I think the Carmel Catholic kid had an offer from Michigan when he was a 7th grader.
Wow.
So definitely a lot of talent in the Illinois, greater Chicagoland area. Talk about the last week we talked about the football abilities. I'll get something on the bingo card. I was watching after our game, and Tony was talking about, he saw this stat about how Illinois has the 9th highest number of NFL players. And I talked about how that's a tribute to high school programs, which the biggest example of that was the Northern Illinois win over Notre Dame, which did not make our friend Tony McHale happy. But then I watched the Northwestern game that night, Northwestern against Northeastern Illinois, right? So it should be 85 players in that game were Illinois high school players,
wow.
Including some guys we played last year. So second down, we're back in action here, start of the fourth quarter. Mayra getting some signs from the sideline. He's got 3 receivers to his left, 2 to the top. Empty backfield for him. Blitzer coming in. Intercepted, but out of the hands. Quinn Duhan. That was a good defensive play. That was going to be a tough interception, but the key there was getting the pass breakup. Dolphins threw a middle linebacker blitz that was Gray, that shot through from his inside linebacker position. Forced the throw from Mayra. Duhan had a chance for a pick earlier this game, and he's got the 50-yard touchdown run that has the Dolphins on top right now. So Lane Tech going to give you that empty backfield look again. 3 to the top. Blitz coming. Spellers trying to get out there on him. Little flick again by Mayra, almost picked off by Quinn Duhan.
I think he got it.
Duhan saying he got it. Referee saying incomplete. We can't throw that back to New York. So Mayra, again, he has 6 touchdown passes on the year, but also 4 interceptions. And we've seen one earlier on the BG3 pick there. Not just a little flick over there on the sidelines where Duhan almost comes up with it. We've got a, stop me if you heard this before, we've got a Dolphin down.
Dolphin down.
On the field. And you know what? It's all my fault. Talking about how fast this game is going, this is 100% on my shoulders.
I think that was a jinx, maybe, Barry.
I don't believe in jinxes, but good Lord. Yeah. Dew Point, 66 of them.
That's it. We got to get that dew point down to 65. Maybe a little bit less cramping.
So that's Jolich. What we saw out earlier in the game was something that I don't think was cramp because it was so early in the game. And so he had sat out a series on the offensive and defensive side. We saw Brayton Scottmere come in and do a nice job. So this is going to bring up a 4th down. Big play. 4th down. Lane on a drive at the Dolphins' 22-yard line. Early 4th quarter, 11:46. Now you got Jolich, who just has to check out at inside linebacker. Scottmere checks in with him. He's talking to Gray right now, getting assignments right. Got a few other guys out, so BG3 out. DuRoss covering a receiver in the slot. 3 receivers to Mayra's left, 2 to his right. We know he's a threat to run as well, so we got him spread out. Mayra getting pressured, sacked by the Serbian sledgehammer, Nick Dale.
Huge play.
Dale with his 2nd huge defensive play.
Nice momentum turn there. Whew.
Mayra's trying to sell that he wasn't down, but Nick got to him in the backfield. Had John Spellers also. Spellers in as a rush end, but that was all the Serbian sledgehammer. Efren Solano checking in on the offensive line, or not. There's Paracchini late getting in. So Dolphins got to get going, spending some time on the sidelines here. So Joseph Gray checking back in. That Wildcat offense didn't go anywhere. Aaron Champion coming in. So I got to imagine we haven't seen Maxwell Warner. So I'm going to guess that Max is out. We're still getting Luke squared away on the sideline. So you got DeMille, Duhan on the top. You got Gray and Champion, the stars of last week's game against Johnson, both in the backfield. Gray just going to keep it, and he is met by number 51, who we don't have a name, but that's at least his fourth or fifth big play in this game. He's down now.
Oh.
So Gray loses a couple on that play. And the official is going to call a timeout here for the Lane player. They're stretching him. So Dolphins leading in the cramp department. Lane now on the board with 1. And we've got 11:19 left here in the fourth quarter. Big Week 2 Chicago Public League game. Again, if we want to look at the Lane schedule, they have Lincoln Park next week, so that'll be fun. I mean, another team in the neighborhood, team where a lot of guys are going to know each other. Lincoln Park, as we said, undefeated through Chicago Public League play. They play a game tomorrow. Then they got some tough ones after that. So they've got a tough sledding the rest of the way. So they play Lincoln Park. Then they're at Morgan Park, which Morgan Park, again, ranked number 19 in the city. By far the cream of the crop from the Chicago Public League schools, where once a Dolphin, always a Dolphin. Nas Rankin, one of their star players down there. So their upcoming games: Lincoln Park, Morgan Park, at Taft. Then they get Peyton and Amundsen to end the regular season. And Morgan Park, Taft, and Amundsen are all on the road. So tough schedule ahead for Lane. Dolphins again. They've got Clark coming up at homecoming next Thursday, then at Kenwood. That's a tough game. Rematch of the Chicago Public League Championship from last year. Amundsen, Westinghouse, and Taft to finish out the year. So Dolphins going to continue to roll that Wildcat formation. Solomon Bradley in now. Gray looking to get to the outside, sealed off nicely by Cole. Vernon Cole from his defensive back position, and guess what?
Is there a pickle juice franchise we could start in the north side, maybe?
Well, I started talking about that thing and I went off on a tangent. My whole point of that thing was, did I say this or did I just think it? The quarterback at Carmel Catholic has an NIL deal with a pickle juice company.
Oh, sure. Huh. That sounds right.
I didn't land that plane. I started down the runway and then I veered off.
I did not know that from Mount Carmel.
No, from Carmel Catholic, the team up in Antioch.
Right on.
So Carmel Catholic, where Johnny Weber was their quarterback last year. It's a guy that trained with Bennett Newman and Anthony Hood. Their backup kid who's had some stories already in the Sun-Times. So Dolphins, we got Conrad back out there at quarterback. Might be scrapping the Wildcat. Third and long. Third and about 12. Conrad, screen pass, but blown up nicely by Lane Tech. There were some blockers downfield, but looked like Aiden Boywind, linebacker, sophomore linebacker, had that thing sniffed out. And the Dolphins are going to have to kick this away. So tried screen pass completed, but Lane Tech been watching film and had that one diagrammed. So you got Bradley, and Lane Tech is going to have to take a timeout, or they're going to take ref threw a penalty flag. They had too many men on the field, so I don't know if they got a timeout in. They might have just sat on the timeout, and given the kind of game it is, given we're at 9:48 left here in the game.
13 on the field.
Yeah, there were guys running in from all quarters.
Well, just under 10 minutes here in the fourth quarter. Beautiful night here on the north side. Fireworks continue to randomly go off. I can't imagine they would be for the Brewers, but maybe in your honor, Barry, that here on the north side we're close enough to the cheese curtain.
The cheese curtain, I love it. Again, a recap of the scoring. Dolphins got on the board first with a pick six. Barry Gordon returning it from about 25 yards out. Converted the 2-point conversion. Then Mayrow with a 70-yard touchdown run. That was followed up by the Mayra to Vickery 25-yard touchdown pass. Really nice pass from Mayra. And then Quinn Duhan, Mach 5, with a 4th down, 50-yard touchdown run.
There's
a snap.
Good boot.
Bradley hammers that thing.
Fair catch.
Fair catch called by number 12, Alex Lagas. That thing was up there. Nice job by Solomon Bradley.
Good result.
Last time Bradley had a punt, he was in the shadow. He was literally in the end zone. Got that one out to the 30-yard line on that. Here, boots it all the way back to the 39-yard line where Lane is going to take over.
It's like Maxwell Warner back in.
Okay, so
corner.
Yolich is back in. Yep, Warner is back. So Warner we haven't seen for a while. Like literally we have not seen him since the first quarter. Saw some good defensive plays from him in coverage. Mayra, quarterback, handoff to Cole. Cole met by Yolich. Yolich hammered him down, got him down low. John Speller's also getting some time. That was also the D-line, Nick Dale, who we've seen come up with 2 huge plays. And now we've got a Lane Tech guy down. Dew Point getting to Kanye Williams. Kanye Williams, sophomore offensive lineman, 5'11", 260, down on the field. Everybody out looking at him. So good to see Max Warner and Luke Yolich checking back in. That was a short gain on the play by Cole. Cole, they've been able to keep bottled up. Again, he was the leading rusher coming in. He had 189 yards, but again, Mayra with 160 coming in. Mayra adds to his touchdown total on the year. He had 3 rushing touchdowns coming in. He's got another one tonight. 9:21 left here. Both teams have, well, they actually are marking off 1 timeout on Lane. So I think what happened right before the punt was that, well, an official threw a flag. I think they decided that, I put that timeout the wrong spot. Let me take that away from Lane Tech. So Lane, 2 timeouts, still plenty of time left here. 9:21 left in the third quarter. So each of these teams have played a really close game. So again, that game against Thornton Fractional South, Lane had scored late in the fourth quarter to go up. Again, that was, I think it was a Mayra run. He had a big run in that game. That might have been earlier, and I think he had a pass to Bakunis in that one. Actually, it was Alex Lagas. He had the game win, threw the touchdown to Lagas in that game, and then after Thornton Fractional was able to march the length of the field, get a touchdown inside the last minute of the game, and then the Lane Tech defensive line came up with a stop of a 2-point conversion attempt and a 21-20 win. And then if you watched us last week, big come from behind win for the Dolphins against Johnson. So both these teams in a close game again today. Mayra, Cole next to him, gives it to Cole. Nick Dale missed him on the outside, but not missing him. It was Maxwell Warner. Warner came run fill from his corner position.
Some significant forward progress there. Okay.
Yeah, he was making another move to the outside. I agree with you, Jack. So third down play. Still early enough. 8:20 left in the fourth quarter. I think something will be interesting if the Dolphins' first order of business is get yourself a stop here. So we've seen Nick Dale come up with a big stop on 4th down. 3rd down here for Mayra. He's got 2 receivers to his top side, to his right, 3 to his left. Low snap.
John Spellers
taking him down. And then from the official who was standing next to the Lane Tech coach.
He's about 40 yards away.
45 yards away from the play, even though there was an official right next to the play. He's going to call a tackle up high, And the referee didn't even know the flag came in. He's got to say, hey, man, I was standing right next to the play. I was standing right next to the play. You had a Lane Tech coach in your ear. You saw both Lane Tech coaches right next to this official on the sideline. And they're going to.
How was it not called at the spot?
This guy from over here thinks he had a better angle on it. He thinks he has a better angle on it. And it was absolutely ridiculous. If you saw what happened on the sideline of this play, and it's on the Lane Tech side, but that official was standing there, he had Lane Tech coaches in one ear and the other ear, and 5 seconds after the play was over, he threw his flag. Chicago Public League, look at some of this stuff. This is ridiculous. It's embarrassing.
It's amazingly bad.
First down.
How was it not seen by
the guy right
referee?
In front of it? And Coach Finger is out there. He's saying the same thing. Hey, man, it was right in front of you. Right in front of you. But now you got to flush that, and you got to go back, and you got to play. So Lane Tech gets bailed out, gets into Dolphins territory. Blitz coming up the middle. Open reception. First down for Lagas. So big momentum change there. Mayra with the completion to Lagas out to the 31-yard line. First down. Dolphin D's got to dig deep here. 7:34 left here in the fourth quarter. Two receivers to the top for Mayra. Empty backfield, three to his left. Jolich and Gray spying him. Play called in. Mayra waiting for the snap. Good snap to him. Little pass out here to the side to Lagas, but Mayra and the short arm didn't quite get it out to him. So clock stops. 7:07 left. I'll bring up second down and 10. Lane Tech definitely in. Well, their field goal kicker. They nailed a point after touchdown earlier. I don't know what kind of range. I wasn't watching him in pregame. But second down, they check in Minos. Mimos at the fullback position. Cole, the running back, both those guys to Mayra's right. Handoff to Cole. Flag comes out.
We're calling offsides on us before the whistle again.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm sure there's a high school rule that's a dead ball foul, so you blow it dead. You don't have the free play on that. So that's a big 5 yards at this spot in the field. So we're going to bring up a second down and 5 from the 26-yard line. Lane needs to get to the 21. He's got a couple big penalties on the Dolphins today. Two pass interference call, one extremely bad, one face mask call. And again, I think what they're saying is he got him on the back of the helmet. And we'll have to look. We'll see on film if that was what it was, but it was dubious. Two I formation, Mimos. Jolich getting that tackle on Mimos, the fullback for Lane Tech. 5'7", 225. Del Villar going to check in for Spellers. Spellers had, I don't think the penalty was on Spellers. I think it was whoever came in there next. I think Spellers had Mimos, or not Mimos, had Mayra.
Well, again, that would be some even more amazing eyesight from the ref
yeah.
across the field, not on our side.
So back in the I formation, Mayra under center, Mimos the fullback, Cole. So Lane going with a little bit of a different look here. Flip to Cole, the football player, Joseph Gray.
Joseph Gray, football player. Great pursuit, great angle.
No gain. Bring it up. So I guess that offside gave it a first down. Okay, yep. Offside made it a first down at the 21. So that was a first down play, so no gain on that. 2nd and 10. 5:44 with the clock winding here in the fourth quarter. Dolphins up 14-13 over Lane Tech, and Lane Tech's homecoming game. Big rivalry game here on the north side. 2 receivers top, 3 to the bottom for Mayra. Mayra waiting for the snap. They've been all over the place tonight. Long count, snap high. Let's see what they're going to call. They called illegal procedure on Lane Tech.
Maybe he felt bad.
Maybe.
Didn't see much.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but procedure penalty brings the ball back to the 26-yard line, so 2nd down and 15. Lane Tech needs to get to the 11-yard line of the Dolphins. Great game tonight. Hope you're enjoying it at home. Mayra, a new running back checked in. Still has Mimos in at that fullback position. 2nd and 15. Mayra keeps it. Trying to get to the edge. DuRoss out there and pushes him out of bounds. DuRoss and Bardsma on the tackle. Tackle him into the Lane Tech cheerleader section. Legal tackle. Speller's checking back in for Del VR. So picked up about 4 on that play. 3rd down, 4:22.
Speller's got some nice pressure last time he in this situation.
Sure did off the edge. First year playing football, basketball player off Coach Slaughter's team. So a little bit of seemed like a different look here, and Lane Tech did not have it figured out. And I think they're going to have to take a timeout. Yep, timeout Lane Tech. Probably not where you want to be using a timeout there, but looked like they had a different, I haven't seen that alignment of guys on the field, and so I think somebody didn't get the message. Britton Perkins, who made a nice play earlier, was a guy late getting on. So Lane Tech takes their 2nd timeout here.
Lane Tech is great academic school here on the north side, and however, on one situation they had 13 gentlemen on the field, and that one 10. It's 11, I believe, Barry.
I believe that is correct. That is how they drew it up originally, and that is how you're supposed to play it. Yeah, and I do. I kind of interesting, and it could be that that they have some attrition going on their side too. So I think both Perkins are in right now. Mayra on his own behind his big offensive line. Looks like a blitz coming up the middle. Dolphins bail out of it. Spellers with some speed, but Mayra coming around the corner. Missed tackle by Jolich. Mayra is able to pick up the first down. So showing that speed we saw in the first half. Spellers and Jolich pursuing him around the end, but Mayra was able to pick up a big first down for Lane Tech.
1st and goal. Inside
of 4 minutes left. 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. Looks like Lane Tech checking in the big guys. They got Mimos in again with Cole at running back. So running the I formation, Meza under center. Middle of that big offensive line. We'll see if the Dolphin defensive line can come up with some more stops here. There's Mimos. He's got Aaron Champion and a good tackle in the backfield. Picked up about 2. Some of those Lane Tech guys getting out to the next level, trying to throw some pancakes around. So that ball is all the way down to the 3-yard line.
And 3 minutes left.
Yep.
In the game.
Exactly 3 minutes left. 2nd down, we saw Nick Dale come up with a big 4th down stop earlier in this game. Lane going to take their time. At some point, Coach Finger's going to have to start thinking about, I guess, this point, 2nd down, 2nd and goal at the 3. You got Mayra as a threat. You got Mimos in there as the fullback. He's talking to Mayra, who's now out of the shotgun or the pony with Cole. Mayra's going to keep it. And Champion on the backside. Champion came around for that outside linebacker position.
Oh, Coach Finger.
Oh, Coach Finger running down for a timeout?
Running for a timeout.
Took out the referee.
Coach Finger slipped and then accidentally took out the referee.
Wow, we haven't seen that before. Coach Finger, hope all of his ACL is still.
Yeah, that was a tough
play.
one.
So Coach Finger trying to get the timeout called, sprinted down the field. Players will tell you this Lane Tech field gets really slick, especially when you have 66 dew points out. So I think Finger, he's still talking to the referee over there. So a little bit of levity in this game, but a big second down stop by Aaron Champion and the left-hand side of that Dolphin line. So Champion is able to get to Mayra and pull him back. We've got some more fireworks going off here. Fireworks on the field, fireworks over the field, fireworks down the sideline. I hope somebody got that Coach Finger taking him out. Okay. Did you see it?
I saw
IRL?
I saw it, and it was
all
quite
of a sudden
dramatic.
I looked over there. I'm like, what is going on? I mean, yeah, the calls have been a little bit sketchy, but I'm not sure. Coach Fingers usually, I've only seen him kicked out of one game, right? And it was not. It's kind of a strange sort of thing. Anyway,
no, he was tracked on my phone. I can track. He was tracked at 23.1 miles an hour.
There you
Coach
go.
Finger, going to get that timeout.
All right, huge play here. Third and goal. Whew. I think they lost a yard on that, so call it from the 4. Mayra at quarterback. Cole behind him. Dolphins looking to pull it up the middle. Cole met.
Nothing. 4th down, timeout. Okay.
Great job over there. I think it was Joseph Gray and I think Duras. I think Gray and Duras and actually I think Champion on that play again. I know it was a single number over there. I think it was Champion.
It was Champion, yeah.
4th down. Holy cow. 2:11 left. I think the Dolphins probably taking their second timeout there. I missed the first one in Dan Finger's tackle, soccer tackle, right? Like European Premier League tackle on the referee.
They have their regular offense in the game.
So going to be a 4th down. We've seen Mayra be able to run it. We've seen a nice pass from him earlier. They're actually bringing out their field goal unit. They're bringing out the number 91, his name is not on our roster. Kicked through an extra point without a problem in the first half.
These hash marks are wide.
So he will be kicking from the far right hash. Mayra is the holder as well. Dolphins with their punt block. Where is Malik Cash Amos? Where is the ghost of Cash Amos? Snap, hold is down, kick is up, and drills it. No good. Wide left.
Woo!
Wide left. We had the Lane Tech fans cheering, but that thing was rifled left of the goalpost, and the Dolphins defense holds, and the LTK chant is fired up from the Whitney Young faithful. Wow.
It was a strong kick.
It was. It was a little bit of a low snap. Mayra got it there, and it just kind of like a Barry Newman drive. That thing just shot left.
No, it's tricky from a short distance on the
well, you're right. You're right about
here.
that. Yep. It's not a straight-on kick, man. You got to – and there you go. Well, still 2:06 left. Lane has one timeout. Dolphins have one timeout. 14-13 here. Big time action at Lane Stadium on the north side. So we'll see. The Dolphins have struggled on offense all day, right? I mean, your touchdowns are a pick six from BG3 Barry Gordon, and you had a fourth down run from Quinn Duhan is how you have your scoring today. So this is actually reminiscent of that game in 21. A little more offense there, but the scoring in that game for the Dolphins was a field goal and a pick six.
Nice to have the ball out at the 20.
So Gray was checked in but checks back out. Conrad with Warner next to him. Warner kind of sidesteps into the unknown number 51 of Lane Tech, who takes him down after a short gain. Clock is running. Lane going to keep that timeout in their pockets for now. Whitney Young going to take all the time that they want.
And now we have a timeout.
Now a timeout.
Lane Tech? Oh, that was...
So a timeout by Lane Tech, right? Timeout by Lane Tech, which is a little strange because about 10 seconds came off the clock and their coach was sort of walking up the sideline. So not sure.
I mean, our coach hustles up the sideline. He sprints. We're family, baby. Family.
So Dolphins picked up a couple yards there. 1:44 left in the game. Lane Tech will be out of timeouts. So if the Dolphins can find themselves a first down here, which, man, it's been tough sledding. They've
I think it's a 40-second clock, Barry?
I believe it is. So if you don't get a first down, you're going to have to give the ball back. So handoff. Maxwell Warner, stay in bounds, Max.
Nice, Max.
Max takes it all the way out to the 28-yard line. Not going to be quite to the first down. So going to be third down and 2.
Reminds me of Pat McHale using all the clock here.
Yep, so they're going to tell Vaughn, take it down until you see the signal before you go. Clock running, 1:10 left in the game. Again, this Lane Tech team stopped the tush-push two-point conversion against Thornton Fractional. There's Vaughn under center, going to try for that pushing, and he is going to be right at the line. I think he's got a first down. I think they're marking it a first down. And get yourself in a victory formation, Dolphins. First down up the middle, right over the Serbian sledgehammer. Von Conrad picks up the first down, and the Whitney Young Dolphins pick up the victory here at Lane Stadium. LTK on Lane homecoming.
What a win. 14-13. Barn burner.
Barn burner. Conrad gonna get in that favorite formation. Clock is running here. Serbian sledgehammer gonna deliver it. Conrad gonna take a knee. Dolphins are gonna go celebrate.
Wow.
With their fans that traveled out here to the north side. Huge win. Early season, but huge win against arch rival Lane Tech. Bardsma, Maxwell Warner celebrating. Maxwell Warner with a huge pickup on third down. Give Conrad the opportunity. Conrad just tried to do a flying chest bump with Bardsma and ended up on his back. But 14-13, Lane Tech already shutting off the scoreboard here. They had enough of it. Fans are ushering out. Big win for Coach Danfinger. Dolphins stay undefeated on the season, 4-0. Lane goes to 2-2. Nick Dale leading it across. Nick Dale again, big plays. Defense, and it was right behind him for that first down.
Wow, what a key pickup. It would have, what a game.
Coach Finger coming through the line next. Quinn Duhan with a 50-yard touchdown. So Dale, your captain. Duhan, your captain, with a touchdown. Jolich, tough playing, your other captain. Great game. Hope you all enjoyed it. I saw Finger there, just Coach Finger. Noah Mara played a heck of a game for Lane.
He really did.
Man.
Wow.
We saw his speed on things. You got to see, there's sort of a backup of all the Dolphin players talking to him right now because they know he put on a whale of a game, whale of an athlete, awesome athlete. You got Nick Dale. Get these guys, Jane, over here. Nick Dale was flying down the airplane down the end zone. Let's watch these guys celebrate. Nick Dale just gave Von Conrad. It's a little dirty dancing.
Wow.
Out there. Nick is doing shoulder presses off the entire team. Those guys heading down to that far end zone and celebrating a well-deserved victory again. BG3, pick 6. Conrad to him. So Conrad picked up a couple big first downs in this game. The biggest one, the final one. Nice 2-point conversion pass. Then you had the Duhan run.
Damian Mendez in the celebration.
What a game. What a game. So that is an awesome way to start off the weekend. I think the Dolphin students are heading out, but parents are soaking this one in. They're watching their guys down in the end zone. Coach Finger gives a heck of a post-game speech. He's down there with the rest of the guys. Great game. All right, so a lot of fun again. Hats off to Lane Tech. I know we gave them a hard time during the game. Really good football team. They've got a tough schedule next, but they're a team that definitely is going to be a team that will be potential state playoff, city playoff. So not sure this is the last time we'll face them this year. They again head out, get to host Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park again undefeated right now. They have a game tomorrow, and we are back in action on Thursday. Man, I can't wait. Can it be Thursday tomorrow? Can it be Thursday tomorrow?
Homecoming Thursday afternoon game
against Clark. So, Jack, thanks a lot. Jane, thank you for stepping in. Jane who, mother of Rayton Scottmere, who had some nice plays tonight. Our shout out to Tony McHale, Remy Vaudel. Wish you guys could have been here tonight. Thank you to Coach Cassidy, as always, athletic director of Whitney Young. There's Coach Finger. You can check this out on his Twitter account. He's going to get a selfie with the team. Victory selfie at Lane Tech Stadium. Again, 14-13 win over Lane on their homecoming. Dolphins go to 4-0. So our thanks to athletic director Chris Cassidy, principal Ricky Harris, head coach Daniel Finger. Jack Wildermuth.
My pleasure, my friend. What a win.
Awesome game. Woo! Everybody have yourself a great weekend, and we'll be back on air with you. 4:15 kickoff at Rockney for the Dolphins homecoming on Thursday. Go Dolphins!